welcome. We're here, Mishmash Gaming. I'll be your host, Bubba Fades, joined by Neely Bobber. Yeah, what's up? And today we have a fantastic game. We're going into the other semifinals with Team AVIATE versus RIZE Alliance. Now,
yes. Sorry. Yeah, we do have a good one today. It is the semifinals. So this is basically loser gets second place. So it isn't what they're hoping for, but it will be a good one nonetheless.
Yeah, so the winner of this is going to go on to fight Venom for the number one spot. The winner of this is guaranteed at least $200 as like the secondary prize, as well as a post on the Amateur Gamers Premium League. And that is our kind of affiliate kind of company sponsor that we have with us here. So yeah, we're excited today. We have best of three. The first map we're going to be looking at is going to be Clubhouse, as we're starting off the right now. And yeah, so first off, we're going to have Jackal and Maverick off the board. Defense-wise, what do you think we got going?
For Clubhouse, I can either see a Kaid or a Valkyrie. That's going to be the main ones that are going to want to get rid of. You want to get rid of that.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to want to try and keep those hatches, or at least make the hatches accessible, especially because even if basement isn't the best one to take, Maestro being the other pick as well. But it's a little bit of intel off the way. Again, the Alda's off the board. Alda's always something you have to watch out for, especially at this high end of a game right now.
Mm-hmm.
And a Mira. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting a Mira. There's not too much Mira play to be had unless you're in the basement, especially with on Church Wall.
Mm-hmm.
But upstairs, you don't see it really utilized unless you're talking about the red stairs coming up to Cash Room. That's kind of the only two spots I really see her being used. So Mira does seem like an odd pick. It might be a target ban. I'm not too sure. But we'll see how it plays out. So that does leave the Valkyrie and the Kaid still on the board.
Yeah, but as an attacker, if you want to get rid of Mira, because the basement's going to be maybe their second pick. So that's going to just make that attack on that a little bit easier, to have your first couple of rounds just that much easier for you to go onto it, to give yourself that lead before you yourself switch to defense.
Exactly, right? But at the same time, you could have banned out a Valkyrie, who I feel is a better pick in this situation. You get a few more eyes in different areas. You kind of almost have passive intel rather than having to stand there, watch the window. And even if you have a Twitch on the board, they can get rid of that mirror window very easily, if the defenders are caught sleeping.
Yeah,
we will see the rare appearance of a Tachanka now. The meme lord himself has come upon us, and
I was expecting that to be quick picked. I saw it, but I wasn't going to bring attention because who.
Yeah, so my thought is, because of the changes that they did do to Clubhouse with those bars underneath, Tachanka could actually have a viable stance up here in Garage, right? You could put him up in the corner. He's very difficult to get to, especially through both sides coming from the main wall, coming into the CCTV room, and as well as the garage door. And obviously with the face protection he does have, it allows him to... You don't need to move much, right? You don't need to be standing there. Generally, that is a place for a Maestro. Again, the Alda in Garage is the typical play. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, he is a bit of a meme, but you never know. It could work for you. Pulling these odd pocket strats out at this play, or this height of play, is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go right there. And there's Doctor tried to go for a peek a little bit early on, but they were able to spot him out, not fall for that, as Doctor is going to fall back onto site.
Yeah, he is going to fall back onto site, and we do see the Ash of Canada back here, just trying to drone out any of the areas where defenders generally try to lurk, kind of get the jump on him. And she is going to pop through onto the gym side, so she can take control of this top floor very easily.
Yeah, I don't see any roamers even in that area. It look like they're giving up that entire side of the room pretty freely right now. That's going to give them a pretty good advantage when it comes to a little bit later on pushing. They already have a placehold in the building, and that's pretty important on this map because there's a lot of run-out opportunities on this map, especially if you're going to be walking around on the balcony. First kill, we're going to see Riley Frags going off and killing Penguin. That's going to be Capitao off the board. And
that
the Riley
utility.
See, that's the run out I was talking about. One run out right away, but he's going to get just nearly away with his life as Max Canada is looking to pick him off, but no, Riley Friggs is going to get that second kill.
Another one coming from the Legion in Incentive, and it's an MXT as well, trying to take out Donkey Punch. So that is the Tachanka. The pocket threat is gone. Now they can try and take control of the garage, but the Bandit is there to take the lead on his fallen comrade. So, oh, sorry, it is the Legion. Sorry. And actually, it's another operator that you definitely want to keep in garage, especially with those blue mines. He is using the Tachanka turret kind of as like a makeshift shield. Riley Fragg's able to finish off the Thatcher on the Stetson. It is literally just down to Joe Jackie. And as I say that, Riley Fraggs does finish him off from the garage. So again, a very good hold. They did seem to narrow down the attackers. The attackers had a strategy of push through garage. After they lost their first person, didn't happen. They just kind of funneled back and just kind of fed into the defenders. They knew that's where the push was going to be coming from. And there's really nothing, there's no strategy to work around it, right? Once they lost those main fragises, they just walked in almost one at a time. And as we've seen there, to no avail, the defenders did pick up the win on that.
But I'm like, they had Thermite Thatcher. They're the last two that survived, but they didn't even open up the top, like that
The
balcony
CCTV
right onto.
wall.
Yeah, that I'm curious about. I don't know why, because that should be kind of the first thing that you do. I don't know if it got Bandit tricked, like if that was happening, but even still, if you lose the first one, then you just tell someone just jump up on that other window, and because it ends up right behind your Bandit, and then you don't have to worry about that anymore. So.
Exactly, too, right? Like that's where there's a few things you can get around that, especially with the Bandit trick, right? So you can have pressure coming from the other side, and therefore you can't see the full view, but you can definitely put pressure on it. So therefore, the Bandit does try to do the Bandit trick. You can at least maybe try and get a lucky pick. Or you can go underneath and maybe, again, it's all down to the operators you pick. You could pick a buck, you can blow open the bottom of the floor, and therefore it just kind of alleviates that pressure from the Bandit, lets you get in. But again, I do feel like they funneled into that basement. After they probably got Bandit tricked once, they're like, okay, we only have one area we can go through. And they just kind of got, tunnel vision on, let's go through garage. We have to go through garage. And I feel like that's what the call was made, is we have to go through garage. And then everybody just funneled through. And again, they just got kind of fed into the machine. So we will see Monty come out, though, this time. We do know that they are going basement, most likely. Monty is going to be a good push, especially coming through the blue side. As you can see here, we are going to be going through Armory, getting down there, trying to open up the hatch. They are going to try and clear this out and take control of the Armory and also by garage.
Yeah, we have both hard breaches on the attacker, so any of the hatches aren't going to be a problem. We have a roamer upstairs. I'm not sure. It looked like a Jaeger or something, but we'll have to see. I don't know if he was able to break through the floor of that roof and then... Okay, yeah, it is a Jaeger. It looks like he's just going to be sitting there for a light flank. It's not like he's going to try to stop any thermite charges from going off on down below. Mm-hmm. But it looks like they might be aware of him as we see him shoot a drone. So the Ash is aware that he's going to be there. Looks like she's going to make her way up.
Yeah, I think it's just the Jaegers there to apply the pressure, but as you can see, they do have a Monty, and there is no rotation for this Jaeger, and it's going to be a tough situation with an Jaeger, a Monty and an Ash on your tail. But oh my God, Docker with a nice little kill onto the Monty, and that is a lot of utility off the board. That will alleviate a lot of the push, but not able to take out marks. So that is a good frag. I'd say that's... I wouldn't say that's a good trade, though. Monty for a Jaeger. Jaeger, as long as he has all his ADSs down, he's pretty disposable after that point. So you have lost a lot of momentum, and you do have to rethink your strategy of how you're going to be pushing into this room now that you only have a minute and 15 or minute and 10 seconds left. It is a tough spot to be in at this point.
Yeah, I think Mark's Canada kind of let him down there. I knew, obviously, he was a little bit hesitant for that peek, because when a Monty comes through, you know someone's coming around the corner, and that's what, obviously, he was expecting, but he waited too long and just left the Monty on his own. The Monty just tried to 1v1 him. Marks Canada should have, like, there should have been some communication. He should have ran in there and they should have been able to pick it up. Like, you shouldn't have lost the Monty on that one.
No, yeah, like, I agree. Like, the Monty was much too aggressive. I feel like the Monty could have just played a more passive role, let Ash put the pressure, but I don't know what the Legion was doing there. But gets picked off by Marks Canada. It's the second one for him onto there, and they will start firing into Church. Again, MXT taking out Donkey Punch, so that is another bullet off the board. And just like that, Riley Frags, though, taking out MXT. It's just down to a 2v3. As I say that, it's a 2v2. Interactive taking out Marks Canada. But now that the Penguin is goo-mined, they do kind of know where he is, and he does get taken out pretty quickly. And Riley Frags with another one onto Joe Jaxie. And a good hold by the defensive team on this one.
Yeah, the defense, like, they had all the right angles, and they just waited for the attackers to come on in. There's a little bit too much time wasted, and without that Monty for that plant, that kind of really stopped that attack. If they were able to save that Monty, I think it would have been a whole different game, because you just would have been able to push that Monty in there, and that would have taken a lot of attention away, and you just would have been able to plant it a little bit easier. But yeah, good job on RIZE. They were able to do a great job defending. They had some fantastic angles, and they'll just be able to pick off the attackers.
Yeah. Activate just not able to hold it out on this point. Again, as I said, it was a little bit difficult, but again, they were good under the pressure. Just imagine what it would have been with the Monty, though. Like, imagine how much more pressure they would have been able to apply. But again, very good, I guess, very good push. They rethought of how they had to do everything. They realized where their roles had to be, and they executed it perfectly. So we'll see how now RIZE holds. Or no, it wasn't RIZE, sorry. Activate holds up top. This is a very tricky one, especially with this 90 wall that they are reinforcing. If you lose that wall, you've basically lost almost full control up top here. So it is imperative that they hold this, or at least have a decent type of hold for these two bomb sites.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can see bringing both the Mute and the Bandit. I imagine that you need to put a lot of pressure in on that kind of west terrace balcony, because them opening that up makes it so hard for rotation with the windows, and that's basically like the key to breaking this defense. So you're gonna have to take everything you've got to try to hold them off from doing that. Yeah, on the attacking side, we can see them bringing that Capitao, and that's the direct counter to what the defenders are going to be doing for the Bandit trick. You send one of those Capitao fires in there, and they'll hopefully be able to get rid of the Bandit, or at least scare them off long enough to plant that Thermite charge on the wall and finish it off.
Yeah, and obviously because Capitao's bolts are not affected by any Jaeger ADS, he can just cleanly do that. He is going to probably repel upside down, so therefore he can get a little bit better of an angle. We do have Thermite doing a little bit of a jig beforehand. I don't think he's going to get that off. He does. Unfortunately, the Capitao is not taking advantage of those fire bolts. And right now, we have Ash trying to figure out what to do here. We have about 3 operators.
There it is.
There we go. Now we finally got it. That fire is going to spread. He is able to open up this wall. Oh no! The firebolt didn't do its job. He didn't hit it properly. And Riley Frags is able to take out Max Canada. This is terrible. They lost to Zofia, and they lost both their Thermite charges. So now they have to figure out where they're going to push in through, and they're most likely going to have to funnel through at least one doorway. And now the defense is on the upper hand with 1:30 left. They have to really rethink this with Joe Jaxie. They'll take out Riley Frags over here at CCTV. So he is going to push over here through Cash Room, and he is going to try and figure out how to approach the defensive side here. He is going to get droned in as well. So good teamwork coordination right there. You don't see that, as much as I say that, you don't see that as often as you'd like to see it. People get droned in. He is gonna, he just misses the head of the Castle. Castle does down the Thermite, and just like that, though, the Castle does take out another one on the Capitao, and Interactive as well take out Joe Jaxie. So right now it's down to a 4v2, and as I say that, Tremor does take out, and he takes out 2. Very nice shot onto both the Castle and the Bandit from Terror. Just down to a 2v2 here, but you do have the Mute on very low health, and you do have 2 very full HP attackers and an R4C. Not able to hit the shots. Nice shot onto Docker, able to finish off that Ash, and it's just down to Penguin right now. go in the wall, try and get a sightline. They do know he's here. He does stand still a little bit too long. Nice flick onto the mute, but not able to get that Legion. Legion shaking his head.
Nearly gets Doctor though too. A really close round.
Yeah, I think that at that point he had choice between two. He's just wasting time right now. Yeah. He did have kind of like it's a 50-50 shot, right? Like he either could have flicked onto the Legion, got him, and then the mute could have got him, or vice versa. So nice attempt though. Penguin pretty well had it. I feel like he stood still a little bit too soon. Like he could have probably went out into 90. They kind of knew he was there rather than just moving around and trying to get a better angle. But nonetheless, still a good round for both teams on this one. But now it is 3-0.
Yeah, I think AVIATE is really struggling with communication on this attack. Like, there's a few holes that we can already see already. Like, first off, like Capitao should have sent his firebolts off like pretty much right from the start. Like you're gonna get bandit tricked there.
Mm-hmm. It's a very common spot to get bandit tricked.
It was a little too delayed, and then on top of that, while that was going on, it looked like no one actually droned out the server's room. Like no one was watching that, and that's like number one flank window watch. And it just basically gave Frags an easy walk up and open up the window, and he got an easy kill.
Mm-hmm. You know, that whole situation could have been avoided completely if the Capitao just honestly, he didn't have to repel. He just had to lay down, try and get that angle in the. There is that tight angle between the jacuzzi and the drone hole that you can get good. And now that the firebolt spreads, you can basically cover that entire hallway for quite a bit of time, because all you got to do is shoot both your firebolts in there, and therefore they can't go anywhere near that wall for about 5 seconds. So it's plenty of time. So again, just a missed opportunity at that point. But we do have an Echo making his appearance here, and a Blackbeard, an interesting little pick. You don't see that Blackbeard too often, especially just because he's a very interesting operator. He can be a menace, but on this map, not so much. There's not too many windows or walls he can really stay on. Over by Cash Room, as long as you can open up that wall, you can definitely get some tricky angles there, or this particular one, but I don't think he's really going to hit too much. You have a very narrow window, and that slow fire rate on that MK17 is really not going to help you in this situation.
Yeah, like on this map, there's a lot of utility that goes into attacking, and when you pick Blackbeard, you're dropping one of the possible utilities in replacement for like a bit of a face mask. Now they are losing a lot of gunfights, so maybe it might be helpful in holding some angles and stuff. I don't know, but as long as they're able to get this wall opened up, this again is the key wall that they didn't open up last time that this was defended. They see that they have bandit there. They know it's going to be. They're going to try bandit tricking, so they need to communicate to get this thing open. This is the number one thing that should be happening.
Yeah, and he sent in his drone, but unfortunately he didn't hide it too well. So they do know that there is going to be somebody just kind of going to be bandit tricking sooner than later, and there is no eyes watching out for any of the where the bandit tricks are. As you can see, he's just trying to play the bandit right now. See if he can figure out what side he's on, and just like that, oh, he does lose it. He doesn't. He's not able to get the bandit trick. And just like that, now the attackers do have CCTV sightlines. They do not have the control of CCTV room, but they do have the sightlines to at least take control. So they will have the Thermite watching the garage and trying to peek anybody who does try and run through there for a quick rotate. Smart rotate hill over here by Red Stairs, able to at least cycle back into Cash Room if needed. And as we can see here, Mass Canada able to take out Frags, but Incentive just taking out MXT very quickly after that. So we're down to a 4v4. The Jaeger and the IQ are off the board. And just like that, we do have Donkey Punch taking out Penguin, and Joe Jackie taking out Doctor, and then also Mass Canada taking out Renegade. So this is a very quick succession for the attackers, trying to get a number on the board now. He will go for the plant over here by the fuser on top of the desk. So just right now, we do have the... oh, what a C4. Still able to get the C4.
Oh, he got someone else. Oh.
Yeah, he got somebody else. To no avail, though. You do have activate finally getting a number on the board here. Again, smart plays from them. They did have a very good hold. They They knew there was going to be a bandit trick. They played it the correct way, kind of jigging around with the bandit, trying to make him think of where it's going to be, wasting his time. And then they finally got it off. And by the time the bandit had to put his bandit charge down because he wasn't too sure where it was going to be, it was just too late. And as soon as they opened that cache wall or that CCTV wall, they had sightlines on it to take control. But at that point, I think mentally the defense lost the control of that room, so they just were kind of in a panic mode at that point. They're like, okay, we have to rotate, we have to go here. And as they were kind of moving around in the positions they wanted, the attack just swooped in, took out everybody, and it was a very good attack session from them. So good job, Activate, finally getting that number on the board.
Yeah.
Or now they just got to get 2 more before the rotate.
Yeah, the attackers, now a lot of time was wasted in opening that wall, but the fact that they got it, and again, that being the key to that breaking that defense, opening that wall, and then you have so many different sight lines, it's hard for the defenders to kind of, get an angle anywhere, and they're basically ripped apart at that point. And there was another point that I was going to make, and it slipped my mind, so I'm...
Well, no, I agree with you, though, that yeah, it took them a little while to get that wall open, but after that, they were very efficient. They knew where they had to go. Yeah. They knew the roles that they had to take. As you see, the Blackbeard pushed right into cash room and held the angle on the red stairs, so therefore there was nobody rotating there. And then right behind him, you have the Thatcher holding his flank, and as soon as he knew it was clear, he went for the plant. So everybody knew their roles as soon as they went in, and they were very efficient about it. So that's very good to see. That's a very pleasant thing to see, especially after you're down 3-0. Sometimes morale can get a little low, and you can lose focus on where you want to, what you have to do and what your role is. But Activate isn't doing that currently. So let's see how they adjust and see if they can at least push forward and get out of this little bit of a slump before the switch over to the defensive side.
Yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. Just the reason why. For anyone watching that's wondering why he jumped up onto the table to plant on there, it's because a lot of these floors are destructible, and a good pulse or someone that gets called out, just waiting for that to happen, as Mac is going to take down Renegade holding that angle, but just not seeing that double peak coming through and taking him down.
T95 with the hollow, you don't see that every day, but got to appreciate that shot, especially against a Vigil. The Vigil had the complete upper hand on that, and you can see the head, but the Ying just able to get the shots on him. Beautiful shot. Great job on that one. So now it's just down to Doctor. He's the lone roamer on this site, so he will have a lot of pressure on him to try and put pressure on the attack side. So let's see how he does here. He is going to be down here by red steps. He's just waiting for anybody to do a little bit of rotate into the storage stairwell. So he's just going
that as well as the callouts, because we just saw that pulse there. That pulse is valuable, can get valuable information on all of the movements of the attack. Oh, we have a team kill coming from Mac. And Instinctive is going to go for a double, taking down Mac and MTX, but Joe Jax again taking down Instinctive, which is going to give us a 2v3 as Riley Frakes picks up Happy and is going to drop the diffuser right down by the drop down. Joe Jax is going to fall himself, going for a pick up on the diffuser, but he's in a really tough situation as Doctor is going to take him down.
Nice shot. So it is down. Nice shot by Doctor, able to finish off the Thatcher in this role. Again, this is very it's a promising start for Activate. They did seem to have a good run. They took up that Vigil very early. They got their hatches open, but after that, things kind of got a little hazy. Nobody was on flank watch. Everybody was kind of pushing church wall. We didn't have too many people anywhere else. And again, because of the miscommunication, we did have a team kill. Mm-hmm. But I think with that team kill, somebody got downed in the process. So at that point, defensive side took advantage of that. So Rise Nation able to take advantage of that team kill, and unfortunately, that was the deciding factor in my opinion. Like after that team kill, just things went downhill. It's usually how it goes. So,
well, I really don't think that this is Aviate's map, because their strategy and their communications seem a little off on these pushes, as well as their pushes all like they're all trying to push through one area. Like everyone was like dropping hatch, and on the defense on that, if you go through those double doors immediately left, that was kind of held open, so you have a long angle down that full hallway as well as into Moto, and then you obviously have we had frags watching Moto from the bomb site, so like anyone moving into there were so many cross angles onto it, like you're not going to have a successful push, and that's exactly what happened. They just got mowed down as one after another kind of dropped and pushed into that area.
Yeah, so again, it was a very good defensive hold. I think just at that point, it was just attackers getting a little sloppy, not able to take advantage of any of that, but then they lost that. They lost the Ying to a team kill, so kind of happens, unfortunately. So we'll see how they attack. They did have success on this bomb site last time. They had a good push through CCTV. They are going for the garage door again, which is very interesting. I think they wanted to do this last time, get the garage door. They're going to get that first, so therefore they can try and put pressure down here, and therefore they can try and get the CCTV wall open as well. So see if they can at least get success this time with the strategy they wanted to do in the first round. And this will be their last attempt to try and get this to a 4-2. You have a little bit better... Oh, Mass Canada go with a nice one onto Renegade. Nice shot onto the Bandit. So they don't have to worry about Bandit tricks now. As I mentioned before, you want to put the pressure on from the other side, and that's exactly what she did. And as I say that, Riley Frags takes out Joe Jaxie, and just like that, your Thatcher is gone. So now you have trouble getting into the site. With one problem becomes another problem. So we will see how this plays out. We do have Doctor down here into Garage trying to put a little pressure onto the attackers pushing through there, but they do rotate around and drop the diffuser midway, so therefore if one of them dies, the diffuser's now in the open, and Mass Canada does get another frag onto the Jaeger, so we're down to a 3v3, and as I say that, Doctor takes out MXT. We do see Incentive take out, oh my god, what a shot on the Penguin. Incentive is able to take him out cleanly. Just down to a Zofia and a Thermite. Zofia not able to take out the thickness of the dog. Donkey Punch taking him down quite easily. And he's just going to heal up. He does hear that, though. The Thermite gets down the Legion, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He knows the dock is around here somewhere. Nice shot on Donkey Punch. What a shot. Then it's literally 52 seconds left. He does have lots of time. It's a 1v1. About the same health for both. Say 75 health each. It is down to the MPX though. He does pre-fire, almost gets his head. He knows where he's over in this hallway. He could probably go for the plant. Oh, he does miss the shots. Down to the Deagle, and Terror able to take out. What a clutch by him. Nice 3K. Was that a 3K or was that
Yeah, it was a 3K at the end. Well, 3 in a row for sure.
3 in a row for sure. It was a beautiful shot though. Great clutch, and that's exactly what Activate needed going into this going into the defensive side. So they are down by 2, but it's better than being down by 4 or down by 3. So I will say,
and he had to go for that kill because someone dropped the diffuser outside of Garage on the far side, and nobody didn't have time to run out and get it and come back. But then it would be like you'd be really cutting down the time, and now you have to worry about who knows where that defender is, sort of thing. So yeah, I kind of had to go for the kill on that one.
Yeah, it was just, unfortunately, I believe they dropped it over there. So if they did get shot, somebody could recover it. But the problem is the 2 people who were on the outside, who would be in charge of recovering it, also died. Yeah. So basically, the diffuser was just left outside. So we will see how Activate has their defense go for them. See, maybe you never know. You can have one team struggle on attack, but as soon as the defense round comes around, they're super strong, and vice versa, right? So
just Max Canada, just not able to hit those drones, gives himself a little head shake.
At a certain point, you just have to learn to give up.
Yeah.
Drones are not easy to shoot, man.
They're not, and like Max, obviously a good shot. He's got it himself. I think double-digit kills, but sometimes you just can't shoot a drone, you know.
Yep. You know what? And sometimes you feel like you hit it, and then and it's like, okay, I'm just going to give up at this point. So Yeah.
The
See how
only,
this goes.
the only thing smaller than a drone hitbox is Ash's head hitbox.
I thought they were the same.
No, Ash's head is definitely smaller.
Yeah. Oh, those Ash mains. They're gonna be mad.
Yeah.
If you really want to make an Ash main mad, just you gotta tell them to use the G36 all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
They don't. Ash mains are very, very unique creatures. They do not like change, and they have a very simple strategy: is run into any room they go into and try and kill anything. That's the main focus of an Ash main. And I don't, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? So, but we do have trying to do some sort of unique play, throwing the goo mines underneath. But yeah, it's not going to work that way.
Yeah, but it's looking like they're looking for control underneath the site. They're putting a lot of
it is a smart
priority into that. As we can see, it being held by two defenders, we do have the Montaigne pushing in, but he's pushing in by himself as we see Riley taking down MTX through the wall. A nice kill right there. You're going to see just slowly, we have only a minute 30 left. The wall finally gets opened right now to Instinctive, so they do have an upper hold, a slight angle into garage, and just a couple peeks both onto site. So that's going to be part of the pinch. Not sure if they gave up pushing down below right now to see Mac just nearly missing his shots. An aggressive hold underneath.
Yep, he does have control of garage, so good on him. He is keeping the pressure on here, but now you do have a thermite and an Ash. Oh, it does spot him through the hole there. What a shot. He is able to take out Max Canada. Those peak holes, they work both ways. Just like bars or holes in the floor, works both ways. So we do have Terror possibly going for rotate, does go back up the stairs, and just like that, we do have the Thermite of Incentive just taking out the Echo, and right now we do have Doctor. What a shot onto Joe Jackson, and Doctor with another one onto Terror. Beautiful flicks onto the defensive side here. Look at this one on the Valkyrie, knows exactly where it is, boom, just takes him out too. That was an amazing play by Doctor. Great push. And I believe that is now a 5-2. So, yeah, a tough go here for Activate.
Yeah, Riley's doing really well, pulling 12 kills and 3 deaths on the scoreboard. That Ash main as well on defense, where a lot of his kills were originally, just that roamer, and he's just definitely pulling his weight for this team, just making it a lot easier when it comes down to crunch time for the rest of the players to kind of pick up the rest of the kills. So yeah, Riley is definitely kind of coming through for a very important game today.
Yep, and just like how he probably feels crunch time is like what I consider crunch time. Crunch time for me is snack time.
I knew that was good.
I believe he's completely eating the opponents at this point, and he is devouring any sort of fries that he's for his teammates. So, just like I do with a bag of chips. So,
crunch time.
Crunchy time. Remember the crunchy bars?
I love crunchy bars.
I don't see them anymore. What happened to crunchy bars?
I don't know.
Like everyone's like, oh yeah, they're still around. I never see them. Like you hear, oh yeah, but it's just like anything. Like, what is it? Trying to think of a candy that was good when we were kids.
Well, like what about Mellow Yellow, the drink?
I haven't had Mellow Yellow in years. That's a state.
I think it's discontinued, probably because they had a lot of bad chemicals in it or something.
Mountain Dew's still around.
Oh, it's fair enough.
But at the same time, I think Mellow Yellow is down in the States. I think it's still there because I do have a distinct memory as a child. Me and my dad went to the States. I'll finish the story. We went down to the States, and we went to a variety store, and I bought a 1-pound Hershey bar and a 2.5 liter bottle of Mellow Yellow, and I ate it all in one sitting, and I had a stomach ache for like 3 days. So
Worth
That
it.
worth it, 100% worth it. But as back to the action here, we do have Terror over here in connector. The Ash did spot him coming up, so they do know he's here. We will have the Monty pushing through. The Ella is getting picked or pinched. She does have the Ella shotgun. She could just open up that hatch, and she takes out the Ash, but the Monty is able to refrag. Good read on that. So that is the Ella off the board. But as I say, that MXT does take out Incentive very quickly. So again, I'd say good frags. You lost your Ying and you lost your Thatcher on that push. So, and all you've lost is an Ella. So I will say that 100%.
Yeah, Habana, which is like one of your main things. But yeah, it was a really good defense. As the attackers though, like for RIZE, like, you know, they lost a little bit too much, but they're doing a good job to try to push out the defenders. They still have a little bit of time left, so Mark's going off as Max Canada just trying to finish off this kill.
Yeah, not able to though.
Blue, just not able to land those shots. There's still plenty of time left, but you don't have your Habana, so the rest of your thermite charges are going to have to go to these hatches, which is going to limit them a little bit if they plan on dropping Moto, and if they plan on opening up that back wall on church site. So finally have that open. Drones are going to go grab a little bit more information before this final push comes. We do see, Renegade's still just hunting for some roamers just in case.
Yeah, he is doing that, but you do have the proper operators or the correct operators for the type of push they're going to want to do, right? You want to push in through Moto. You have the Monty, you have the Thatcher, or you have the Thermite, and you have the Ash. So those are the main ones you're going to need and the main ones you're going to want. Doctor over here able to take out Jaxi, but MXT is able to take out Frags, and Mass Canada is able to take out Renegade, and just like that, MXT finishes off Doctor over here in the Moto. So the defenders definitely had the upper hand. It was really in theirs to lose. They held it quite well.
Yeah.
And it was actually a fantastic hold by them. Smart plays with the Ella, right? Ella knew she was cornered. She had the shotgun. Again, it is meta for PlayStation.
Yeah.
To have the Ella with a shotgun. Again, you can't really sleep on that. It's a very good shotgun. But unfortunately, the Monty didn't put... he put good pressure, fantastic pressure. He did what he was passive enough. I think he could have put a little bit better pressure rather than walking around her and trying to block her in a corner. He could have probably just kept walking straight and like made an extension to the wall. So therefore, if the Ella pushed around to try and get him, the Habana could have been there for the refrag. But unfortunately, he pushed around. The Ella went past him and then just pushed the breach hole that the Habana was coming through and just totally took her out. And unfortunately, the Monty wasn't able to de-shield and shoot the Ella in time. So again, just kind of like a little bit of a misplay at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, in retrospect, shoulda, woulda kind of done. I think the real plan was to just try to scare her further, like, back through the other door out in the open, but she knew she was trapped. She did the right thing and just went on the attack. You know, I'm going to go down sort of thing. Let's see how many people I can take with me. And yeah, she was able to take down at least one before the Monty was finally able to ADS and finish her off.
Yeah, just able to, go down swinging, take whatever, do what you can. You know, at that point you're dead. It's just who can you take with you at that point, and that can actually make or break the round, which it did. You got rid of any potential hatch breach, and you also got rid of any potential gadget denial. So again, good on her. She got what she had to do, or she did what she had to do, and it was a solid play by her. So we're going to see how they decide to do this. We do have RIZE trying to push through the typical doorway. So again, we do have them pushing through the garage, and we probably have them pushing on CCTV doorway. But it is really down to how the defense holds this. You do have your Legion probably up here in garage, most likely. And most likely have an Echo in that room too, just to keep tabs on anybody roaming through there. Even if you do lose Legion, you will at least know where they are as I say that. There we go. We have the eyes in garage.
Coming up back around the top, there is a Thermite on the attack, and again, it's looking like Bandit Tricks are going to go down, but I don't even see the Thermite up in that area. It looks like he's being used elsewhere. Montaigne's pushing hard on this garage, but there's no one there to assist him. It's not really a fantastic push that you want to do by yourself. there's only so far that you can go in that. But in the meantime, it's looking like Thermite is finally trying to go for that wall to open it up. We're going to see Mac get a kill onto Riley. And that's going to finish off the Ash. Again, leaving the Monty all by himself.
Monty can put kind of passive pressure, but they do know there are eyes in, and he can just be kind of like a mobile draw, which is what he's doing. He is making sure that his teammates know where these people are, so if they do go for a push, they know kind of vaguely where to shoot. And as you can see here, Renegade is trying to shoot under the bars, but you can't do that anymore. You can shoot around them, and as I say, the Dunker Punch does take out MXT. So Monty does take control of Garage basically all by himself. He doesn't get too much help from anybody else. And you do have Thatcher over here as well, kind of getting this little tricky angle that not many people use.
Yeah, even with opening up the wall, though, it makes that Monty push a little bit easier. You just have an extra angle on it. Doctor's going to just mow down Penguin as Penguin just turns that corner. Oh, I see C4 double taking out two of them, but the bomb is going to go off. We do have a 2v2 now, with the bomb timer being the decider, though. We do have Renegade, who's going to take down Terror, and all that's left is Matt Canada, who's gonna have to try to make his way onto site, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult. There's so many angles that he has to worry about at this point, as well as in Monty, which basically just turns this up that much harder because Monty's gonna be safe and basically just be making call-outs to Renegade and just wait for that, to try to defuse and then just go for the kill.
Yeah, it is hard to especially get anybody with that MPX at range, and as I say, that Donkey Punch finishes off Max Canada. Nice try by Max Canada, though. He did do everything he could. He didn't do anything wrong in this situation. It is a very difficult situation when you are getting pinched, especially with a Monty. Max Canada disconnecting. I don't know if we're going to have to wait for him to rejoin or if we're going to do a rehost. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we will do a rehost at this point. So we will take a quick break. And see how everything plays out, but we can definitely try and figure out what's going to happen here and see what went wrong and see what went right in this point.
And just the way that the teams are playing right now, we see I think AVIATE's doing a little bit better on defense compared to their attack, even though they've only won a single defensive round, I believe. But I think they're a little bit better organized, though RIZE is just... This is their map. They're really well coordinated, and the pushes are coming together. Opening up that garage, Montaigne finally pushing through, and then with the wall being opened up, you have a second angle into garage that finally clears that out. The amount of pressure that goes onto the defense through that is just really hard to come back from.
Yeah, it's especially with the last round being a clear example of that. As we've seen, it was kind of once that wall was open, again, they had mental control. Mental control of that room was lost. So everybody was panicking, and again, the attackers just jumped in there, took control of the room. Again, Doctor got a fantastic headshot, just kind of mowing down anybody who walked through that doorway. Everybody hitting the shots, and again, putting the Valkyrie, who's kind of caught in between this rotation. I believe she was probably going for a long, kind of coming through connector through bedrooms. But as everybody died, she had to come all the way back around the other way. Yeah. And again, she did her best. That much she could do at that point.
She got the nice C4 underneath. If that C4 kill was just a split second sooner and stopped that plant to go down,
game changer.
It was definitely a game changer. It's still difficult, but the benefit you have now is the time is more on your side. So now you don't have to... they have to come more into sight and go for that plant. It means someone isn't watching the angle while they're planting, which kind of puts you at a temporary 1v1 possibility, and they have to come to you rather than the other way around, where the Valkyrie had to push towards them. So it's unfortunate because it was just right on the cusp. They just couldn't get it off in time, but definitely exciting and just couldn't get it together.
Yeah, and... I will say Activate's having a little bit of a rough go. just not able to clinch out at those wins, right? Like they do have they have good strategy. They've made it this far. It's not like they're not
for sure.
It's not like they don't have good strategies. It's just unfortunately, RIZE is just there to stop any sort of push. Like soon as AVIATE trying to slightly gets a bit ahead, there's just the refrags. I've always said refragging is the most crucial thing in Siege, especially when you're doing it competitively, because if you're not getting those refrags, you're putting yourself in a huge disadvantage. But even if it's not right away, even if you lose, let's say, your Jaeger, but then you take out their Habana, like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds later, that's considered I would consider that still a refrag. But when you lose a Jaeger, half the round goes by and you've lost your Valkyrie and you've lost your Legion, but then you finally get that refrag on the Thatcher or whatever, it's too little too late at that point, right? Like they've already progressed to a certain point that numbers are always going to be in their side. And
numbers become more valuable as like the time kind of counts down. So when you're at the disadvantage and there's a little bit less time, it's so much more impactful. Yeah,
exactly. We're not saying anything that nobody here doesn't know, but at the same time, it is crucial to know these things, especially when you're in the middle of the game. You can totally blank on what you're supposed to do and totally forget, there's these folks, there's still a Legion left, and there's still this left. Because I've been in plenty of games where like somebody will go and they'll start doing this weird stuff where they think it's a 1v1 or it's a 1v2. And reality is it's a 1v4, right? Like it's you don't know. People get so kind of tunnel vision. They don't realize what the rest of what everything else is happening around them. And that can very well happen. And it does seem to happen a few times for AVIATE. They just kind of get this little bit of a tunnel vision. They lose track of what they're supposed to do. They're not confused, but they go for rotates, but then 3 people die. So then that person has to come back the other way, and then they get died because they got caught in that kind of failed rotation.
Yeah.
It's just, unfortunately, RIZE is just kind of outplaying them at this point. I think it's just AVIATE doesn't have the proper tools to deal with what RIZE has to offer. Yeah. From what I see, like after who knows, like a little bit of an intermission can definitely make a big difference. You can get that morale back up. You can kind of sit back and be like, okay, we're losing focus here. We got to do this. We got to do this. You could easily tell somebody, hey, let's switch roles. You be the fragger and I'll be support, or you be the Ash, I'll be the Thatcher, or things like that. You can switch up role. You can talk about things that aren't working in these intermissions. And same thing with RIZE. RIZE can say, hey, everything's going fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. And then AVIATE can say, hey, this is working, or this might work. Let's try this instead. So this little bit of intermission can definitely help both teams. And I think it will. I think it will in the long run. I think when we get back, we'll see a completely different game than what we've been watching. It could be completely different in the sense of we can watch RIZE completely walk over them now. Like, it won't be as much of a struggle, or we can see AVIATE completely come back, and bring this back to a 6-6.
Also, just keeping in mind that this is a best 2 out of 3, like very map specific teams. Like we could, when we switch over to the next map, Bank, which is one that I don't think I've casted for in this leagues. I don't know if you have, but we could see and I expect to see just a whole different kind of gameplay come out from Bank. Bank being a completely different styled map than we have that we're watching right now on Clubhouse.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how this all goes. And I think we're in for something different when we get back. I can't wait to see that, and I think it'll be definitely worth it when we do that. So other than that, though,
really. What's some more of those candy bars that you miss?
Fruit by the foot.
Well, that's still around.
Still around, but when's the last time you can say you eat one?
Well, I think that's more of like a public school kind of thing.
I think so, yeah. Like, I don't think grown adults are going out and being like, "Hey, I'm just going to get a fruit by the foot."
Yeah, the adult lunchroom. The one guy has a fruit by the foot, and he has it wrapped around his thumb, and he's sitting there sucking his thumb.
Or that one guy who'd unwrap it all, put it in, like put like 2 inches of the thing in his mouth and just like let it dangle there and just eat it while he's walking down. It's like, what are you doing with your life?
What are you doing with your life? You need to rethink it.
You damn heathen! Just eat it. What other thing? Fun dip.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't miss fun dip? My only complaint with was that the stick that you dipped was way better than the powder you ate off the stick.
Mm.
Like I would always catch myself like using one stick to get the powder and then just eating the second stick and be like, damn.
I did the same thing. Yeah.
Who doesn't? Who has it? If you haven't done that,
rethink your life.
Hashtag fun dip in chat right now. Hashtag fun dip. And then I want to know if anybody else ate the stick in fun dip. Just the stick, not the powder. They ate just the stick. I want to see that. Hashtag fun dip in chat. But other than that though, I'm super hungry right now. As you can tell. This is I was planning on sitting here for a long time because these two teams are very high out semifinals, right? Like semifinal environment is a completely different beast. A lot more mental games, a lot more kind of like you can lose morale really quickly and you can gain morale very quickly just by winning and losing 1 or 2 rounds. But other than that though, like I would definitely say it's a challenging thing for sure.
Yeah. And the other thing, like if it goes to game 3, another thing you'll notice is mental fatigue, because there's a lot of mental strain, concentration that goes in these games. And when you play 3 of them, it starts to wear on you mentally, and it's a lot easier for someone to make just a silly mistake at that point, and becomes kind of like who can survive longer, like whose mental endurance is better too.
Exactly, right? It's you can. I always find it in Siege, especially when I was on Xbox, was you'd have the one person. Sometimes it was me, 100%. I could definitely take that podium was me. You get that one guy who you could be down by 1 round and they've just mentally given up. They're like, you know what? I don't get it. We lost. We can't do this. And you know what? Like the rest of the team could be like, no, we can do this. We can definitely get it. But like one teammate could definitely make or break this just by what their mental state is, right? And that's where you have to really decipher between ranked and semi-pro, pro, go fours, anything like that. You have to be mentally okay. No, we are going to win this. You could be down like these guys, 3-6. You could be down, 1-6, and you can be like, you know what? No, we're going to turn this around. We're going to win this every single round, and that could it might not pay off. You might lose that game 7-1, but your next game you might be down that, and you can come back, right? Like it's just mentally you can psych yourself up, and you can completely change how you play this game.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like we're just about to come together for the game. The last little tweak is coming to set up the playlist, and we'll hopefully be back online in no time. We'll be coming back to, again, 6-3 in favor of AVIATE. And it's coming down to match point. So, like, within another round or so, it could be over. Or, again, we're playing on, I believe, infinite, what do you call it? Infinite overtime.
Yeah, it is. So it is like a tournament. Think of it as Pro League. Once you get to the finals, it is infinite overtime. It doesn't go to, like, if it's down to 1 game, you have to win by 2 no matter what. So if you're up, even if you're up, 7-5, the other team brings it back to 7-6, or even a 7-7, then you have to get another 2 rounds. And if they keep going back, it'll just keep going back and forth until somebody gets up by 2 points. So
I've seen it go to like round 33 or like something ridiculous. In another
6 invitationals was how many rounds? 25 rounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was another one. But just like it's just ridiculous sometimes.
Actually, the funny thing was, I was streaming it because I went to Quebec. I drove all the way there. It's an 8.5 hour drive. And so on the Sunday it was happening, I couldn't stay until it was ended because then I wouldn't get home in time to, get,
Yeah.
honestly, I would have gone home, like, from how that game, I would have probably gone home at like 2 in the morning and I had to get up at like 6. So I actually streamed the entire game on the way home and was playing it through the car. So I was just listening to it, and oh my God, it sounded like the most mental thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It lasted forever.
Yeah, and like there's so much like strain going on it because it's like when those rounds ended, it was just like the most insane plays ever, like the most craziest comebacks. That's when it happens.
Yep, and that's another thing you have to take into account too. These is best 2 out of 3, right?
Mhm.
So if AVIATE is able to kind of like stall and they might know that, okay, we're not winning this game, but if we can make it really tough for RIZE to get these wins, they could in essence kind of like dope a rope and you've technically only kind of really exhausted yourself through 1 and a bit games, where the other guys have exhausted themselves through 2 games, and you have that upper. You have the less fatigue on your players, and your players are ready to go and able to kind of maybe eke out a victory that way. So again, that's another great thing about the finals. It's a completely different game. It's a completely different mindset. You could actively go into the first round being like, you know what, we are probably going to lose this, but let's make it difficult. Let's make it super hard for them to get this win, and therefore we know we can win game 2. We'll win that one, and then we're going to push them to their limits in game 3, and they are not going to be able to stop us because we're going to tire them out, and we're going to physically and mentally drain them. So therefore, we can just get that win in game 3, and off we go. And there you go, you're into the finals, and then who knows, maybe you win $1,000 after that point. So
yeah, well, we are back into the game. And again, we're going to be going up to the master bedroom as well as the weight room. This being, again, a tough site to hold, it's going to rely a lot on that bandit trick. And as the attackers, they're not going to be bringing a Capitao, so that's going to give them a little bit of advantage to bandit trick. That keeps you a little bit safer. Also on the defense, we're going to be seeing a smoke being brought to the table for the first time in this game.
Yeah, it is nice to see a smoke come out. He can definitely do a lot of denial, especially these a lot of narrow doorways, and because they know that there's a Monty on the board, right? They know they've been pretty much running a Monty every time. You can definitely push the Monty back, relieve some of the pressure. When I was saying with this website, with this bomb site, you're able to put the pressure by just opening up the jacuzzi wall. This smoke can help alleviate that pressure, allowing for the rotate. It's allowing for a little bit of easy access for the defenders to get into the positions where they need to get into, because they know the attackers, as soon as something's open and they have to rotate, the attackers are going to push at that point rather than waiting.
Yeah, and the Montaigne's been playing super aggressive. So the Montaigne is a little bit is more likely to kind of push himself out of position, and it's going to make it a little bit easier for Smoke to take him down, because then you're going to force Monty to try to retreat. Yeah. Another thing I want to note that I saw happen that's really cool is that the castle wall that's between the hallway and the construction room is preset for destruction. It's basically there to stop the bandit from being shot through the window, but if they need to rotate onto the site, it's going to take 1 hit to open that up, and that's an important strategy for what they're trying to do here.
Yep, and we do see the Twitch drone kind of taking out one bandit trick, or one bandit charge, which is nice. Unfortunately, she did get it shot. She got a little bit too greedy waiting for that second charge. We do have the Monty opening up the first castle wall, but unfortunately there's another one there. They will have to kind of unfortunately there is no frag grenades or breaching charge. You always want to take at least 1 frag grenade, whether it be a sledge or it be a buck or even an ash, right? You want to have that potential, considering that they've been running a castle. Castle has been very common, especially on this map. So kind of a misstep on their part, judging how they're going to be holding this one. But to no avail, to their avail, they do get the 90 hallway open. So it is down to them with 55 seconds left. There's still a good amount of time for them to make this push. They just have to figure out how they're going to be doing it. We do have the Monty still roaming outside, which is interesting. They could be kind of pushing into sight. The Dagger does get spotted out and taken out by the Twitch. Nice shot on him by the Doctor. He now is pushing into bathroom. He does see the shadow of the castle, able to take him out. Nice shots on him. Does spot this smoke behind the bomb site. Not able to land the shots with the F2 way to push him off the pistol. Nice shots by him, and again, we will have incentive able to taking out that camera. A few more shots. Oh, plants on a little bit on the hatch. That could go terribly wrong. And the C4 underneath. Nice C4 from the bandit. But the diffuser does get taken back, and right now we do have the Twitch holding the stairwell, and we do have also the Thatcher doing the defusing. So right now the diffuser is down. We do have Valkyrie able to hit her shots, MMC able to take out Renegade. Nice shots onto what was that? The Thatcher. Oh no, onto the Thatcher. Oh, yeah, and then we have Max Canada taking out Twitch on stairwell. Still has lots of health and not able to hit the IQ. IQ doing a lot of damage though, and IQ has a lot of health. That's Donkey Punch taking up the Valkyrie as well. So it is literally down to a 2v1. It is just down to the Bandit. Bandit not able to take out the Monty. Monty putting pressure on, and Riley Frags taking out Mass Canada. Nice hold, 7-3.
That was a fantastic push, and just the strategy that they came up to it. Rise up winning that. But again, they were able to open the jacuzzi wall. That's a fantastic, cancel out a lot of rotations there. But then we also had 2 players drop down in logistics. Again, that's another tough angle to counter, as well as you had the Monty pushing in. I don't know what window or something the Monty pushed in from, but like attackers from literally all angles. And they were just able to walk in there. It's really hard to keep them back, and that's a really tough site to hold, and they were able to take it over really easily.
They were, I believe he pushed in through connector. I believe that's how he...
Yeah, it looked like that's what he was going for.
Yeah, so again, good pressure, good hold. Unfortunately, AVIATE not able to eke that one out. We will get onto our second map very soon. Bank is our next map. So Bank is, I would say, my favorite map. It is always been my favorite map. I just love how it plays. There's a good mix of long angles. There's also the vertical gameplay, tight corridors, interesting bomb sites. You could really... The meta is not quite set. Like, there is a distinct meta for Bank, but you can definitely manipulate it a bit. You can definitely do these oddball plays that people don't know. You can definitely get these odd angles, odd rotation holes, these interesting little plays that can definitely throw off your opponents and make them think, okay, like, how are we actually going to hold that? How are we going to push this? How are we going to do this? So that's why I still like Bank. Bank is still something that you can openly manipulate, openly, work. And we can definitely work with that. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to take a quick break, just a few minutes while everything gets set up. And we'll be back on Bank, and we'll see how this goes. AVIATE is down right now in 1-0. So let's see if they can eke one back on Bank. So we'll be with you in a few minutes, and stay tuned for that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mishmash Gaming. We are here with game number 2, RIZE versus AVIATE. AVIATE lost the first one, RIZE taking it out, I believe, 7-3. We're here on Bank, one of my favorite maps, and right now AVIATE is on the back foot, so they do have to kind of push forward. I am also here with my co-host, Above Fabes.
Hey.
We are entering the ban phase. So what are you expecting for the ban phase right now? We're about to get to see the first attacker. Monty, this one.
As a direct counter to what we saw in Clubhouse, RIZE braining Monty every single time, and AV just not able to get the counter on that. So I believe that, as well as just some of the map, the bomb spots here on the map, that it's definitely a vital operator that they want to get off the board. The second one being Jackal. A large map, a lot of rotation, a lot of roam capabilities, again, off the map.
As well as we do see the mirrors, so both Spanish operators are off the board. Mira playing a pretty vital role in Bank, especially in the vault hallway, or the red hallway, as we most call it. And as well as being upstairs, if you have anybody upstairs, you can have janitor's closet completely blocked off and have view into both sites. So that is a big utility off the board. And Maestro, to nobody's surprise, is also off the board again. Just extra intel, and the Alda being taken off. Maestro is a very powerful operator, so having him off the board is just a little bit extra that the attackers don't have to worry about. So
it's interesting. So like that Maestro being picked, I would have expected to see the Yokai drone, but it being the second pick, they wanted to keep that on the board, because if you have to defend, they're defending first. We might as well defend first with Echo. Hopefully they can get in a bunch of wins, and then they'll worry about countering it later. On the attacking side, no IQ coming into play, which is usually a vital counter for that Echo, but instead the Twitch and the Capital being important on that basement push as well.
I will say I did notice AVIATE was running IQ a little bit more than RIZE was. So it's probably, like you said, they're like, you know what, we're playing first with Echo. We always run an IQ anyways. We have the counter for it, so they don't have to panic too much. Whereas they know RIZE doesn't run it. So we'll see how this plays out. We will be holding in the basement over by locker rooms and the CCTV room. Again, pretty standard holds going to be coming in here. I would assume someone's either going to be out in garage, or they are going to be placing the Valkyrie cam out here. I'm going to try and get a cheeky little camera over here in the SUV. If you're not familiar with that, you just blow out the window, as you just seen. You can put a camera probably closer to the dash even. You can get good visibility of anybody in there, and you can actually have presence and pressure on any of the attackers that do decide to push through here. We will have the Habana and Ash push this way as well, so they will be clearing out garage first.
Yeah, so again, with the Valkyrie coming into play, I'm going to be curious to see how the attackers change up their strategy. IQ, again, being a pretty vital pick to just counter a lot of these utilities, and also with Legion being on the map, they're going to go for an aggressive server room hold, try to counter anyone coming down to that tunnel. He is droned out, but we already have Riley coming up into garage, most likely already spotted from that Velt cam. But something I don't know how I feel about it, or that wall being opened up, that makes it really hard for them to hold onto kind of that red hallway. So unless they're planning on just doing a complete passive hold on that, not worrying about it. But again, I'm curious to see how this strategy plays out.
We do have Max Canada over here, just kind of taking control of the hallway. He's probably the one who is in charge of that hole, as well as the Valkyrie over here in sight. So it will be interesting how they do that, but they don't have any pressure on that wall. So it is interesting, like you said, it is interesting that they have it open if they're not going to have anybody there to watch it. So we will have to see how this plays out. We do have the Jaeger over here by steps as well, trying to make sure that Nobody's pushing down on there. We also have the Capitao pushing down the server room stairs. We still have a minute, 10 seconds left, so lots of time for the attackers to take control here, but they do seem to be rotating a lot and not focusing on what they mainly want to do. They are kind of scattering, and as I say that, though, Doctor does take out Max Canada, but MXT able to take out Renegade, so a good push onto that from the Legion, and that is actually your Thermite completely off the board. So good hold by him, and we will have the smoke over here in the blue hallway being pushed by the Captain. The Captain does not have a lot of health, and he does get taken out with a quick little pre-fire with that shotgun. That is a nice little trick to do. If you're ever in blue hallway and you want to hold that, they are pushing you, just keep that shotgun pointing at the door. As soon as you get flashed, just start pumping shells down there, and you will probably get somebody, because generally people push through here. Joe Jackson able to take out Doctor, and as well as Incentive able to take out that, but as well as Happy Penguin taking out Riley Frags, and is literally just down to this Habana. She does spot the Legion, but takes a few hits herself, not able to do enough damage to the Legion. Does watch him get ducked down. ADS gets off ADS just at the right time. She knew he was there. Don't know why she stopped ADSing, but the Legion able to take her down quite easily, and just like that.
Yeah, some unfortunate timing going on. The Twitch, a good call to notice that the whole rotation through Vault and whatnot was open, but just rushed a little bit too quickly, vaulting in, and then just kind of got caught off guard by that Valkyrie there. And the whole defense after this whole thing played out makes a little bit more sense. Valkyrie holding off from the bomb site itself. There was no one holding the Red Hall, because instead they went for the aggressive server hold. As long as they don't get past there, then you're fine in that regards. And anyone trying to push from garage, they had enough angles from the bomb site, as well as the Jaeger kind of playing from the corner of the stairs to try to counter anyone pushing up on a long runway up to that main door. So I like that strategy in the end. I was a little unsure about where it was going at first, but it makes sense now, and I like it.
Yep, as well, we see the Tachanka getting 6 picked off on like the first game we've seen him in, being swapped for a Castle, which again they brought very prominently in game number 1. Clubhouse is preferred on Castle is preferred on that map, and kind of depending on the site. Obviously, this being the main site, you will see a Castle. You won't see him in too many others, just because he actually has a lot more power on this site than he would most others.
Yeah. So the reason you bring Castle for this top floor hold is to counter attackers from just sitting on that window to the west. And especially if you bring a Glaz, this is the normal situation, is Glaz is able to shoot through that wall, through the double doors, and even through down that hallway, and you can get a really far line of sight onto the bombs and even down the hallway. It gives you a really powerful position. The Castle kind of stops that from happening a little bit. Another thing to note is they did switch in for IQ, noticing that the Yokai drone and the Velt cams were in play. So a smart move right there.
And as you notice, the Castle does bring a camera. He doesn't get droned out. The drone just goes right by him, because they're not used to anybody being in that corner. You can take advantage of this very easily. The IQ pushing in very carelessly, I would say. Not properly droning this out. Joe Jackson could definitely take out this IQ if IQ is not paying attention. Joe Jackson does know the IQ is in this main lobby. He's just playing the patience game at this point. He does hear that gunshot, and just like that, does not push it out, but Doctor taking out MXT very quickly. Jaxie does take ADS off. He does start pushing in, tags the IQ, not able to hit the shots. He's getting a little bit too impatient, and Riley Fragg's taking out Joe Jackson just like that. And he's down, just like, round hasn't even really begun, and we're already down to a 5v3. You still have an Echo, a Jaeger, and a Doc, so you do have some very powerful operators on board still, and a lot of utility at the defense's favor. So let's see how the attack does take this. But as you can see here, attack does have pretty well 4 defenders at full health and IQ at 75, so it is a bit of a tough one. Oh, nice pre-fire from Doctor, sorry, taking out Terror. Able to take out that Jaeger quite easily. What just misses the shots is the Echo. And nice flick from Doctor, and it's just down to a 5v1. Doc not able to finish off anybody, and Max Canada finishing off the Doc. Very convincing round.
Riley, I think that was a 4K for Riley.
I believe so. He did do some damage.
Which he started off the first game too with a 4K, if I remember correctly.
No, that was I believe it was a 3K.
No, somebody had a 4K at the very beginning. Oh, it was not. Obviously, this is round 2, not round 1. But Riley or Doctor. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm getting my operators mixed up in that last round. Yeah, no, you're right.
That's fine. Again, Doctor's still putting in the work on that round. But it is down to a 1-1 now. So good on them to be able to hold out. That was a very convincing attacking round, though. Like, just
very well coordinated.
Yeah, very methodically taking them out. But at the same time, a lot of missed shots coming from the defensive side. Like, that Echo had that Zofia dead to rights in that doorway. She was in the doorway standing in the middle of her, and Echo had the line of sight and he missed all those shots. So unfortunately,
Lesion not having enough patience.
Yeah, like he had he had the prime spot. He wasn't droned out. The IQ was kind of getting ready to. She was rotating out, but she probably would have got on her drone and just like drove straight anyways. I think he's just got a little bit impatient, or even then he could have maybe pushed a little sooner. In my opinion, though, I feel like he could have waited, and I don't think he would have got droned out at all if he didn't make any noise or if he just stayed a little bit more patient there. So, Capcan though coming onto the board. Don't see him too often just because his traps are pretty big and pretty obvious. But if you put them in kind of different spots, not like you could put them in heavy traffic spots, but 90% of the player base is going to look at the doorway anyways and make sure there's no Capcans there if they know what's going on. But if you put them in the odd spots where you don't think you're either, people are just kind of run into maybe, chuck their drone out, or they're going to kind of run into, possibly open a hatch for a quick rotation or something like that. You can definitely catch a lot of people off guard with that.
Yeah, we see Doctor coming in down below again for the. We do have 2 defenders down there. I'm not sure if anyone's droning in for Doctor. And again, this is kind of a vital thing that you want to do with your counter roamers. You have your entry fragger, but you really need to have someone drone him in, and it makes him so much more effective. And it just basically protects him. Just that extra information just from a drone is valuable as we get shot from the stairs. MXT is going to take down Doctor early on, though, but we have Renegade opening up the site right now with a whole minute and a half left. But again, just the fact to drone in your entry fragger could have made a huge difference right there. We do have the Thatcher fighting down the stairs. Renegade just missing a shot himself on a peek as he's going to rotate out of the bomb.
Yep. Again, like you said, droning in, like we saw in the last game, and it was fantastic to see. We had teams doing it. Not so much in this game, in this round so far. I feel like you said, that could have made or broke that whole push. Like that push, it was imperative for the attackers to get, just like the MXT, doing some work, taking up 2 kills. One was down, but still, he does do the work of his EEDs do take out the Thatcher down him, and he's able to easily dispatch of the thermite. So it is just down to the Buck now with a ACOG, quite an unwieldy gun, but Buck is very capable of doing it. Does spot out a couple of operators, does spot out the Buck, or the Jaeger. Just missing a shot. Oh, nice shot onto Terra, but Joe Jackson able to just pick him off. But I feel like that could have gone either way at that point, because look at this hit. Look at this pick.
He just flicked on him. He was aiming at Joe Jack, but then I guess that flick, he just messed him up.
Yep. Just took out the yellow, trying to get in there and try and help, but
yeah,
just like that. It is now 2-1 for AVIATE. So AVIATE is looking a little bit stronger in this game, a little bit more comfortable on bank.
Yeah, the attack, I'm a little disappointed in that attack. One thing to notice, again, and they did it early on too, is they're able to go in and open up the site really early on, and that's great. But then it just falls apart from there. Mm-hmm. There's not enough counter flank watch. We saw like the Thatcher went to counter. They knew there were defenders on that stairwell there, but there wasn't enough angles being held They were all in that kind of open area, and then the defenders kind of just came around and they were able to get the shots off on them. They picked them off. I just would have liked to see something to kind of counter those rotations a little bit better, to just allow someone to focus just on the bomb site rather than everyone not sure where to aim.
Yeah, like you said, just there was no intel being gathered, unfortunately. Either way, like the drones are being thrown in there carelessly. There's nobody droning anybody in, and the attackers didn't have the intel to get the frags that they wanted to get. They, like you said, they opened the wall, but after that, they were just kind of lost, and unfortunately, just weren't able to get any of the kills that they needed to. And the defense was just on point at that point. So we'll see if they adapt or if they change up their strategy a little bit. We will be going back downstairs. We kind of have the same setup as we did last time. A little bit more of a softer setup. No chunky three armors. More squishy 2 armors and 1 armors. But we do have the Buck coming back, and again we see this IQ kind of expecting maybe a 6 pick onto an Echo or anything like that, but even then she does take care of any of the Legion mines or any Valkyrie cams that might be placed in some odd spots. So as you can see here, we do see her spot one of the Valkyrie cams over here in Garage, so that is a little bit less intel for the defenders to take advantage of them all.
Yeah, it's kind of curious that they didn't go for Echo. And they do have the Valk, which, again, if you had the Valk cams placed there in the proper spots, it's okay. The Echo, though, is just almost necessary on this bottom placement because it allows you that extra time to stop the plant for just a little bit longer, to allow your defenders to rotate, get that smoke into position or something to kind of stop the plant from going down again. So they kind of went away from that. They didn't open up this wall voluntarily now, but they didn't fortify it either, which, again, just gives the attackers from the Garage a really big line of sight, stopping a lot of rotation.
Yeah, Joe Jackson doing a little bit of a free fire through that wall. Does do a ton of damage to that Thatcher, not able to finish the kill though. But Terror is able to take out Doctor with that shotgun over here in CCTV. So, just like that, Mass Canada does take out Incentive as well. So, your Twitch and your Thatcher are off the board. Both operators to take out a good chunky utility are off the board, and you still have a Legion and a Smoke. And you do have a Valkyrie, but the IQ is nowhere to be seen on any of these sites. She's kind of going for a little bit of a rotation right now, so a lot of the utility will still stay in place. Donkey Punch, though, just kind of watching these back steps, trying to take control of CCTV. He does know that somebody is in here. There's 2 people in here, I believe, as well. Not able to fully control. It does give away his position, though, trying to pre-fire that Valkyrie. And now they do know somebody is going to be pushing these steps. And they can act accordingly. As you can see, the first smoke grenade is going to go out with 30 seconds left. If he paces these right, you can pretty well hold off anybody coming from this doorway for the full 30 seconds. As you can see here, we do have the IQ pushing in. She does get down by the Terror. Nice shot by him with that shotgun. We do have as well the Jaeger over here in red hallway. Not able to do any damage, but Joe Jackson does take out Donkey Punch, and just like that, the defenders win. Flawless round. Now 1 defender got taken out that round. And again, things are looking very good for AVIATE this round.
AVIATE's doing a fantastic job defending, especially that basement. And again, from map to map, we see just a complete flip on what these teams are doing. For like RIZE, for example, their attack, maybe they didn't expect them to go in the basement or something, but like Habana, if they expected them to go in the basement, then I'm disappointed because like Thermite and Habana get those hatches open. That causes a lot of chaos for the defenders because those hatches are in some pretty tough spots to stop rotation and then worry about trying to get into servers and whatnot. But AVIATE's doing a fantastic job on locking down server every single time. And the attack, they're trying to push in there, but with only the Thermite, the only hatches that they can get, like they're very limited in what they can do. And you don't open up the hatch in servers, then it's really hard to get those defenders out from there. So like you really need to bring someone to counter that.
Yeah, Unfortunately, they weren't. We'll see how it goes this Sunday. They are bringing up the same setup. The only difference now is they're bringing in Ash. But again, the defensive now is bringing in Doc. So, you know, the trade-off is now you have a chunkier operator, and you can definitely make the you can make the lives of the attackers look really difficult, especially if you have the Doc in the correct placement, and especially because, you know, AVIATE has been putting a lot of the pressure on the attackers in these oddball spots with just squishier operators, so they can take a few more bullets and they can make a few more mistakes this round if needed, because this bomb site is quite tricky.
And losing the Twitch drone in prep phase is...
Yeah, you want to kind of keep that hidden. Like, even if you know you're not going to... You want to take out as much utility as you can, but at the same time, you have to play that game where do you hide it so therefore you can have two of them? Or do you know, kind of throw it caution to the wind? And unfortunately, they just did the caution to the wind thing, and I don't think it'll work out for them in this point. There's just too many trap ops right now. There's a lot of Valkyrie cans, there's a lot of mission mines, ADSs, things like that. You need those off the board, and unfortunately I think that was just the wrong play in my books.
Yeah, but again, like, they're really good at getting right on an opening site, but Jojax is getting a loose to Renegade, even though he was pre-aiming for it. His bullets hit the post beside him. Only a few of them landed on Jojax, but Jojax is going to get the kill into Thermite, but just a little bit too late. That wall will get opened up, but they do have a man advantage now with a minute 45 left. Instinctive is going to wander down the hall, work his way in, and miss his shots, but finally he's going to down Happy Penguin, and he's going to take control of Janitor Closet.
Yeah, he does take advantage of that, so it is down to a 4v, or as I say that, it is down to a 2v, or a 4v2, and this like that, it is down to a 4v1. Joe's actually putting in some work now, taking out Donkey Punch, and we do have Incentive just in here in Janitor's Closet, not too sure what to do. He does get spotted out by the Doc, does take out the Doc though, and he shots him in the Max Cannon, not able to shot this. IQ does take a lot of pressure coming in through here, kind of fighting for her life at this point, not able to get the shots in. Does get goo mined, and Joe Jaxie able to finish her off through the wall with the M1911.
Yeah, they start off good on attack, decently, I think. Well, I don't know. Like, this is a completely different Rise than we saw in the first map. I don't know what's going on. That's completely.
They're not comfortable. This is not their map. 100%.
They're getting destroyed on the flanks.
They are not droning in properly. Like you said, they lost their Twitch drone right away. Their drones are getting taken out very easily, and Rise is just winning the gunfights. It's just like you said, it's a completely different Rise than we saw.
Wait, AVIATE's winning the gunfights now.
Sorry, AVIATE. Sorry, AVIATE is
landing their shots,
is winning those gunfights. So they have good holds. Again, this is AVIATE's map, so they are more comfortable here. I was not expecting Rise to be this uncomfortable though going into that.
Yeah, and who knows? It being flipped around now. Maybe it was just maybe the defense is much better. I hope.
It very well could be. It could be just a thing of, you know, they have better defense strats. They have, they have better defense strats. Unfortunately, the attackers don't have the confidence on this map to figure out or to get any of these angles or take out any of these strats that they need to. But unfortunately, they do have Terror kind of getting rid of one of his Prismas, not intentionally, by throwing a grenade a little bit too close. You kind of want to open up your rotationals a bit before you throw down your holograms, just in case something like that happens. We will have Max Canada doing a little bit of a cheeky spawn peek. Does miss his shots though. He does tag the Buck, but not enough to do any critical damage. But right now Buck will be sitting on about, I'm gonna say 65 health.
66 health, I think.
66 health. That one health can make your
that's actually very true.
Right, so he will be sitting in around that 60 to 70 health range. But we will lose the Ash right away to MXT. And MXT with another one onto Doctor. My god, just doing the work here with this Capcan. Did work last time. And just like that, he is comfortable with this operator just taking control of open area, cutting off any possible rotation that these attackers want to get into that room. And right now we will have about opening up the hatch. Kind of the damage is done at this point. You've lost your Zofia and your Ash. Two very crucial fraggers, especially at the opening of this round. Just not having a good time right now is RIZE, and MXT with another one, and MXT with a 4K. He could be going for the ace. He has one more left, not able to hit it onto Riley Fragg, shutting down the ace possibility. And he does try into a little bit of a pre-fire there onto the Jaeger, but Jaeger safely tucked behind the steps, and Joe Jaxie able to finally finish it off. MXT, the MVP of this round, just again, this is their map. MXT knows his role. This is my open area. You are not getting in here. He has control of 90 hallway, he has control of open area, and probably control of kitchen. And Capcan, that's how you use a Capcan. You have it so that the attackers have to walk around them, and if they do take them out, you still have control of those rooms because you know where they're coming from. Beautiful play from MXT. I will commend him wholeheartedly on that one.
Yeah, so I don't know what to say. Just the attacker's just not able to get it together and just counter the aggression. But now it being flipped around, we might see a difference from going on the defense. And starting off, we're going to be seeing a basement hold. Doctor seemingly very excited about it.
A little bit, they get a little bit of a jig in there. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. They have had success down here so far, so we'll see what's next. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, bringing a clash. Again, this will go along with an aggressive play style. Seemingly, my guess is going to be it's going to be used to hold kind of the server room like we saw earlier. As long as you hold that, like you have a really hard position on the attackers. Looking like they're not gonna have any roamers. Looks like all the defenders are gonna go back down to the basement. This is gonna give the attackers full control over the top floor. This gives them the opportunity to quickly move in, open up hatches. In that time, you know, if you have a good roamer and you're able to waste a little bit extra time, this is the map to do it.
Yeah, it definitely is. We will have Joe Jackson count to get through open area. Just trying to make sure that it is clear. He does draw out quite well. It is something. It is a little bit of a risk, especially with how they've been playing. We will have, we will have AVIATE try something a little bit different here. Not it. Max Canada does finally take him out. Again, they're going to bring the... Ooh, nice shot. Just a pre-fire through the wall, through the janitor closet. We will have a little bit of a difference of a setup, though. Bring the Ying, but again, they didn't have time to utilize her with this one. But they do drone out Riley Fragg, so they do know he is up here, and now they can try to go in for the pinch. You do have both Thatcher and the Ash here to cut off any rotation. So right now, Riley Fragg is stuck, but we'll see if he can get out of here, can maybe tag one of them, or if he's just going to get mowed down completely.
But the benefit, though, is that he's now wasting time. A minute and a half left, and everyone's on the top floor. You lost the defender, but you also killed an attacker. I didn't notice these roamers up top when I originally called it out. Joe Jack's getting a nice pre-fire into Riley, as they're doing a good job droning out these defenders. Now that they're taken care of, the push can now happen down below.
Yeah, we will have them have full control up top here. Jaeger is kind of taking out any residual gadgets that might be floating around here. He also will take out any Grozmox mines up here by the doorway, because we do have the Ella over here by blue stairwell. And they kind of know it. Whenever you attack the basement. What is Ella doing? Joe Jaxie taking out Renegade on that one, but Renegade did not need to push that. He could have just let them push her, but unfortunately, just getting a little bit too greedy at that point. We will have MXT opening up the hatch up there. So now it is just down to the Clash and Bandit. Again, having Clash on the board, you don't see her too often, but she can definitely kind of almost clutch out the round if it's 1v2. It's just her, not so much, but she can definitely help put the pressure on the attackers and force them out of areas where they don't want to. Just like here, they're going to be kind of occupied with the Clash, and just like that, we will have the Doctor able to finally take out 2 of the attacking operators. It is literally just down to the Thermite and the Thatcher, but the plant is down, and right now this will be a tough one for the defenders to take this one.
Yeah, so even though you pushed in and you lost 2 attackers on a 4v2, the benefit being now the defenders have to come to you, but with that Clash coming into play, looking like a reverse disable right now, if they're not able to get past that shield, and instead Joe Jackson's going to make a run-up on him. Where was that Bandit in that? Bandit almost letting it happen, a 1v1, but almost out of time. You have no option but to go for the defuse, and it's not going to land. He's going to go up instead, and he's going to lose the battle.
Penguin easily dispatching that, and now it is 6-1 for AVIATE. Very convincing victories coming for both sides, both defense and attack. Again, this just makes me believe that this is their map. They just have the better strats coming in. They have a better idea of where they need to be. And even when they lose people, like you've seen there, they lost 2 people. They didn't panic. They got the plant down. They knew where they had to be, and everybody was in the correct position, and they took advantage of where they had. And even when the Clash tried to do the reverse diffuse, unfortunately, the Bandit wasn't there to counter it. Like, you could have had the Bandit over there by the bomb and had control of both the wall and the doorway where both of them were, and you could have been totally fine and totally secure to take out that Thatcher, and then you would have just had to worry about the Thermite, and by then the diffuser would have been done. So just, again, a little bit of a risk, a misplay on by RIZE.
Yeah, that could have went totally different, because his, Clash's shield is much bigger for that reverse kind of diffuse thing than your attacker's shield. So he was much more protected. If that Bandit was able to get in position, as an attacker, all of a sudden the bomb's being diffused, your diffuser's being broken or whatever, you can't kill him, so you have to somehow push past to get to him before he finishes that. But now you have a Bandit somewhere in a corner. That could have went completely different, so I'm surprised that a missed opportunity for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was. We will see how they approach this one at the bottom, or at the bottom floor again. They did have a pretty solid hold here, so it will be interesting to see how they hold this. It was a good idea. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to properly secure it. As you can see here, we do have the Ella
shock drone, giving her zap zap. I know, I was thinking so too. Somehow she was getting.
I was about to say she's doing that right late, and she might get shot from the skyline. And then I seen the blood, and she's getting shot from skyline. But no, she did get Twitch drone. So I don't even know if she got that hatch, because it was just so late, and she stopped securing it. So that hatch might be soft right now. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that.
It looked like she went back for it, so maybe she got it. But yeah, definitely.
She very well may have. She very well may have. So we'll see how this goes. She does the Jaeger playing a risky game, but Terror finally able to hit his shots. A little bit of a potato fest there, but hey, with the Jaeger, it is a 3-speed, so sometimes it can be a little tricky, especially on console. We do have Riley Frags over here holding the tunnel into CCTV, and we will have incentive as well over here by elevators. So they do have a solid hold down here. Pretty traditional, though. You usually have somebody over by elevator as well as somebody over here in the red 90 hallway. Open area has been fully taken over by the attacking team. So right now, they're probably going to try and push down by blue. We do have a grenade coming out onto Renegade, onto the dock. So the dock is down, but
it's a rook. It's not a dock, so he can't get himself back up.
No, he can't get himself back up, but again, Tremor does not know that he's down. Getting a little bit greedy, not able to fully drone out, and Riley Fraggs is able to take out Joe Jacksy, so this actually could be a turnaround for RIZE Gaming. Because the markers are off as his Pro League settings, he didn't know that he did down them. He had to drone them out, and just like that, he could have probably chucked in another grenade, but I think they would be safer just to kind of get him revived if not. But we do have Max Canada taking out Incentive, so that is the Legion off the board. And we will have Rook at about 20 HP. Just roaming around, so he still can do some damage. We do have the Clash over here. Buck trying to chuck a grenade, trying to get her out of there to relieve a little bit of pressure.
So the Buck is going to be in a great position to possibly go for a plant, though. Happy is going to be able to take down Riley. This is going to give them the ability. Donkey being upstairs, needing to drop down. Instead, he's going to pull out his gun. He's just going to miss his shots, though. He's going to get some counterfire going on.
He actually had a pretty solid spot there, but I think that the attackers did hear him, and so therefore they just kind of re-looked at the hole. I think he was a little bit, well, it was kind of hard to be quiet with a three armor, but I feel like he actually probably could have got the drop. I think he just kind of got a little bit too careless with that. And just like that, the plant is down successfully. We do have Donkey Punch over here in the 90 hallway, just trying to slow down these attackers, but I don't think he knows that there's somebody behind him. There might be somebody behind him.
No, there's only two attackers now.
There's three, my bad. So we do have the Habana taunting the Clash, trying to get her to lower that shield. But Clash is just in a difficult situation. She's not very good in these 2v1 situations unless you are like an absolute god with her, but most people are not because she's been out of the rotation for quite some time. She does get tagged quite a bit. She has about 5 health. And yeah, it doesn't take much from the C8 to finish her off. And just like that, AVIATE decisively takes game number 2.
Yeah, a completely different turn of events from what we saw from the first game. AVIATE dominating on this map.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a very good game from them. So we'll see how game number 3 goes. We will get to game number 3. It will be Consulate. I'm very intrigued to see that because, again, both teams were very dominant in their maps, right? So, you know, AVIATE clearly the better team on Bank, and we do see RIZE clearly better at Clubhouse. So it will be very interesting of who is the better team on Consulate. We'll probably know it pretty early on, or they might be. It might be one of those games where it'll be super even, and it will be one of those things where it will literally whoever makes the first mistake. So we'll have to wait and see. That's going to come up in a few minutes. We're just going to get everything set up. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Game number 3, semifinals, RIZE Alliance versus AVIATE. We'll see you in a bit.
up in the party, fire than everybody. We show up in the party, fire than everybody.
We show up in the party, fire than everybody. We show up in the party, fire than everybody. We show up in the party, fire than everybody. We show up in the party.
We show up in the party. We show up in the party.
to Mishmash. This is a semi-final match right now going on between AVIATE and RIZE, and we're on to map number 3. We have AVIATE, who just finished winning the map Bank, and then we have RIZE, who won our first map of... This is Consulate. The first map was, Neil...
Yeah. First map was Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, that's the word. Anyways, so we saw 2 completely different teams on each of these maps, so we're excited for this to be map 3 on who is the real winner, who's got the better strats. We're here in the banning phase. First ban going off being that Monty being a direct ban that we've seen before. We've seen RIZE using Monty to completely dominate over AVIATE in the first game. Jackal being the second one. Pretty common ban.
Yeah, especially in this game, the first 2 bans have all 3 games have been Monty, or no, not Monty. Sorry, been Jackal has been in every single one. Monty being in the last 2.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting of who they pick now. Ella, kind of because of that shotgun, able to kind of hold down those corridors, just being a little bit more of a pain in the side of everybody else.
So this is a good map for Ella. Again, this is a very roam-heavy map. A lot of vertical destruction, which your shotgun comes in handy for. Maestro being taken off, again, comes into play with like the top floor hold and stuff, as well as the front entrance, that kind of denial that he can use, as well as the information that he gathers now off the board.
Yeah, so again, he's been banned every single game. He's just a very powerful operator. I'm not surprised by that. And the only one that's kind of different is the Ella, but we've seen her be somewhat powerful or somewhat of something of use to these teams. So having her off the board will definitely kind of change some strategies up a little bit and make them bring a few different operators to the board. MXT, kind of the MVP of the last game, I would say. He held his areas very well with that cap can. And they are putting him on the dock, or not the dock, the pulse. So it'll be interesting to see what his role is in this game, and if he can actually bring it as much as he did last time. So let's get right into it and figure out what is going to happen.
Yeah, so looking at a top floor hold, Joe Jax again doing a little dance. Valkyrie, highly expected to be brought to the table. Her cams, this map is very common for runouts. There's a few places you can get a good Valkyrie cam outside, as well as there's a lot of great places inside for you to gather information. That and the Echo, these are 2 operators that we saw pretty common for AVIATE to bring. The other operator that we saw being the Pulse. Again, like I was talking about with the vertical destruction, Pulse is really good on this map for that counter plant. You're going to see him roaming around on this main floor, gathering information to give to his team to see where the attackers are coming from. And then in the last few seconds, he has the ability to catch whoever's trying to plant the bomb and throw a C4 up underneath them.
Yeah, unfortunately though, he is getting quite aggressive. I get you can go for this bomb piece, but I don't know if Pulse is the correct operator to be using it, especially with that almost 45, slow fire rate, not very good damage, and the damage drop off on that gun is actually really not that good. So unless you're hitting the heads every single time, and especially of how useful this operator is, they do have a Valkyrie kind of as a fallback, which is nice. You do have 2 operators downstairs preparing for the counter plant, right? Like, you can take these sites fairly easily, so it is forcing the attackers to worry about the bottom floors, so they will have to kind of dispose of a few units trying to get rid of those operators downstairs.
Yeah, but like you said, Pulse has constant use. If you're going to be aggressive, use a Jaeger. He's already put down his utility. He can die, that's fine. We're going to see a kill right away going on to IQ. That's a fantastic pick off the table. Now you don't have to worry so much about getting your Valk cams and stuff picked off. We're going to see some nice drones coming out onto droning out Terror.
Yeah.
And again, onto Joe Japs. This is fantastic to see from the attackers. Being able to use these drones, you got to find out where these operators are. We do have somebody who's down. It's going to be Happy Penguin. Again, being your Echo, that's someone that you want to keep alive.
Yeah, but he does get revived by the Doc, so he actually has 75 health now. But Cho, man, MXT, able to take out Rally Frags with that UMP 45. And as well as Joe Jaxie taking out Donkey Punch. So that is two very important operators off the board. That is your, I believe, your Capitao and your Ash off the board. So you don't have to worry about that. And right now it's just down to Doctor. Everybody rotated back upstairs. So you're down to both Zofia and Sledge. Two very good operators for fragging. Good guns. Decent utility. Doctor decided to draw an outline of Valkyrie before he shot her in the head. And then knifed her. Or not shoot her in the head, then knifed her, shoot her, then knifed her. But we do have Doctor over here trying to take the diffuser back. Doctor taking out the Doc as well of MXT, or the Pulse of MXT. So just like that, it is now a 3v2. Again, these two operators being very good at taking control by fragging. Renegade just kind of put the pressure, just getting a little bit picked off though. Terror does take out Doctor finally, as well as Renegade taking out Terror. So we got a bit of the trade. So it is down to the Doc and the Echo. Two operators you just don't want to be up against when it comes to a 1v2. He does kind of get run into the objective, get pinched very easily, and we do have Happy Penguin finishing off and winning the first round on 2-2.
Yeah, we saw right off the bat AVIATE showing some dominance early on with a bunch of really well-placed kills. They did a fantastic job. But then again, we saw, was it Renegade, who was able to pick up a few kills of his own, bounce it up a little bit. But so far, just from that first round alone, AVIATE seems to be pretty strong on the defense. But we can't go off of that. But it will give AVIATE that extra boost. They're coming off of a fantastic win, 7-1.
Both games, fun fact, both games, the opening team the team that won the first round won the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we seen the first game, we seen RIZE win the first round. They won that game 6-3. We seen AVIATE on Bank win. They won 7-1, but they won the first round and they won that game 7-1. So right now, AVIATE has won the first round. So technically, as history precedes us, it's going to be AVIATE.
Call it game. It's done now.
If we're going off of what the other games have told us, AVIATE should win this one. So again, I'm not saying they're going to win this, or I'm not saying they're going to win it very easily. I'm just saying that's what the games have told us so far. So we'll see if RIZE can at least break that cycle and then give AVIATE a run for their money.
Yeah, AVIATE definitely on a mental high though after that huge win, and now all of a sudden winning the first round here. RIZE is going to have to do a really good job to be able to counter AVIATE in this again. We're going to be seeing a bandit trick being used to try to stop them from opening this garage door. He is going to get droned out, so he knows that he's there, but the attackers do have grenades on their hands, so we'll see if they're able to use those as well as the Twitch drone, but to take down this bandit.
Yeah, and I do like that placement of the shield as well to help the bandit get those bandit tricks off as a little bit easier. We will have also Terror over here helping him out, but unfortunately the bandit does not bandit the correct wall. I feel like maybe the use of a Valkyrie cam may have helped them in this situation. But we have Joe Jaxie taking out Riley Frags very easily, as well as I believe Sledge got taken off a little bit earlier. I may have missed that, but we're down to a 5v3. Both your Zofia and your Sledge are gone. So those are the two operators who were left and almost won the round last time, and who were the main fraggers for RIZE. So those two are gone. It is literally just down to a Fuse, which is again a very interesting pick. Mainly clearing out any of the utility that they might do. Oh my god, MXT taking out two of them. Taking out Doctor with a pistol, running the F2. We have Donkey Punch upstairs, just pulling the full Rambo, taking out Joe Jaxie with that LMG, and he will be kind of holding his flank, and somebody is waiting for him on the yellow stairs.
Yeah, we saw Sledge die pretty early on, and I know he's a good shot and he's aggressive, and you can get an angle on the bandit while he tries the bandit trick, but when you have a grenade in your utility, you can throw it down to that drone hole while the thermite is, trying to access the garage. It's a risk-free maneuver, unless obviously you botch your grenade throw and kind of kill everyone.
Yeah.
But, it's use that first to see if that works. It's safer, use the safe option, and then sure, go for that yellow push to try to get that angle.
Yeah. So AVIATE, again, winning that one quite convincingly. RIZE niche or RIZE Alliance just I'm thinking Pro League. RIZE Alliance just not able to. I think that from the looks of it, that 7-1 loss has really eaten them up a little bit. Like I said, I believe AVIATE was doing a little bit of a dope rope technique where they just let RIZE kind of exert themselves to win the first game, and then it totally exhausted them for the second game. And now after they stomped them 7-1, I think possibly RIZE might be mentally exhausted at this point. And it is going to be hard to bring that morale back if you are, you weren't expecting to go to game 3. You're expecting to win in 2 games, and especially after a 7-1 loss. It's just one of those things where there could be a lot of factors in on RIZE, and there's a lot of pressure on them to win this, right? It's not like they're going to go home empty-handed at this point, because this is for this is for I believe $200, right? So
a guaranteed $200. This is going to put them into the final for the possibility of the full grand prize.
Exactly, right? So this will definitely be worth it at that point. So we'll see what they do. AVIATE, again, I think is just riding that mental high. They are in the driver's seat. This is their game to lose at this point.
Yeah, so now they're going to be forced to go front door instead of taking the other option. Oh, MXT with another kill right off the bat. A fantastic peek. He's going to go for a second one. Playing it pretty risky, but man. Oh, he's grabbing the second one onto Donkey.
That echo drone technique, I love that technique. Not enough people use it. People watching this, do this. I hate spawn peekers, but do this. This is a fantastic little technique. It allows you to see things and put pressure, but without having to really have yourself in a position where you're going to get shot. Like, as you can see here, you can maneuver your drone. You can get a sight line. And Joe Jaxie able to take out Doctor. So this is just looking very, very good for AVIATE. I am absolutely loving these shots from MXT. MXT is the MVP of this game right now. He's done both games fantastically. Gosh. Oh my god, MXT on Riding Drags. Another 4K. That is 2 4Ks. No, wait. Didn't he got a 4K in the first game too?
Yes, he's
gotten 4 4Ks. Or no, 3 4Ks. Can't do simple math. He's gotten 3 4Ks in 3 games. Not many people can say that.
Yeah. 7-1. Like, MX is really pulling his team through this. Like, it's making it easier for everyone else. No one else has to get a kill. He's just wiping the floor with them right now. RIZE needs to get it together, and they're getting beat on a few different levels, so they need to focus a little bit more and take it slower. Get in the building, make sure you have the counter roam coverage for your other attackers, and yeah, they're just getting picked off on too many weird little angles. It's just, I don't know what else to say. But MX is definitely tearing them apart. He's winning a lot of gunfights, and that's a big thing too. But yeah, I don't know what I can say. RIZE is a great team, but they're being made
they're making it look like right now. This honestly, this reminds me of when this tournament first started, and you had these top end teams facing teams that were a little less experienced. They weren't familiar with how the tournament style worked, the higher end of play, and you have people who are working with, smaller organizations, but they're organizations, right? So these organizations expect a certain thing out of these teams. So it's looking like a team that is very inexperienced versus a team that has all the experience in the world, and it's unfortunately RIZE is on the losing end of that scale right now. So
Yeah, like maybe they're just they've got to be having an off day because I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting Rise to come out ahead of this based on the previously matches that we've seen Rise with. I was expecting Rise to have the upper hand. I was expecting AVIATE to have to fight a little bit harder, but it's just not going that way.
no, what it is, they're doing roughly the same thing every time. As we can see here, being a clear example, Joe Jaxie, they always have somebody kind of push in through the main doorway. And Joe Jaxie has been the main one to shut them down. Joe Jaxie with another one onto the Repel, onto Donkey Punch, and Terror onto Riley Frags. So they're going into the same spots. They're doing the same kind of pushes. They're pushing through garage. They're pushing in through the main door. But they're always doing it in the same kind of pattern. And AVIATE is just reading it, and they're just stopping it. And unfortunately, RIZE is not countering it in any such a way. Their counter is, hey, let's just keep doing it. If we bang our heads hard enough against this wall, we will get through this wall. And it's not working out. They just keep losing people. And as you can see here, we have Doctor just trying to fight for his life over here by Garage. We do have Ying on very low HP up top. She hasn't worked her way inside, I believe, or she is on the roof, one of the two. But she is on incredibly low HP, and right now Doctor is just being stalled out for time. He's just down to a Ying with very low HP and a Zofia. And it's just
ending the round like that. But one of the main things I'm seeing is it doesn't look like they're pushing together.
No, they're not.
It's
they're
a lot of
running out.
The attackers are doing a lot of these weird solo pushes, and they're getting picked off. There's no one, like you were saying earlier, there's no one to refrag.
Yeah, they're not droning out. He's not. They're not droning out. They're not pushing together. They're just kind of walking in one of it.
They're playing it like it's ranked. I think they might be mentally defeated a little bit because they're not playing their game. They're playing AVIATE's game. And,
exactly.
That's what's happened. AVIATE has taken control. They're in the driver's seat. And RIZE is getting dragged along. And it's, and it happens. It happens to the best of teams.
Yeah, it really does. It's just one of those things where it's just at loss after loss after loss. It's going to slowly deteriorate you. And if you have the mindset to be like, you know what? No, they're not switching it up. They don't have that mindset of being, okay, let's do something completely different. They're not pulling out the pocket strats that at this level, you should have at least a couple pocket strats that will completely throw them off. And they're not doing that. They have a strategy and they are doing that strategy. And unfortunately, with that strategy, there's really no room for leniency. So it's enter through one or two people enter through main door. One or two people enter through garage. Other person stays on roof, watches windows. That is literally what is happening every single time. Yeah. And AVIATE is shutting them down every single time. So what do? They take the operators and say, okay, you were pushing in through main door, so you push in through garage, and you were pushing in through garage, and you push in through main door. You're not doing anything different. You're just throwing different operators at the problem. Yeah. So I think RIZE has to regroup, rethink these strategies, try to pull something up, try and do something completely different that will throw AVIATE completely off, and then work off of that momentum.
Yeah. And these roamers are just tearing them apart. So one, they need to get in the building. A lot of them have been picked out from outside of the building. There's a lot of windows. It's a hard map for that. So if you're getting picked out outside a lot, okay, let's get inside the building. You're inside the building. Use someone to drone. Use someone to even set up a drone on a counter flank to watch. Use some of these extra things to your advantage, and then kind of push as a team. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say that what I'm saying right now is a guaranteed way to turn this around for them. I'm just kind of throwing out ideas because I don't know.
You may as well, because I don't know if.
But something has to change. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I hear you. it's hard to say what's going through Rise's head, what's going on comms.
that's
anything like that. They could actually be throwing out ideas, and unfortunately, it's just not. It's coming out looking like the same product, right? So, again, like I said last time, with this brief intermission of the rehost, it will definitely be something that this could definitely revitalize Rise. This could definitely make them say, okay, we're having a breather. Let's talk about some stuff. Let's try and figure out what we're doing wrong. Let's try and do this. And same thing with AVIATE. AVIATE might do, hey, let's just keep doing the same thing. Let's see what they do, and we'll adapt from there. So
yeah,
these little intermissions can definitely help. A rehost, I believe, honestly, I think this is just more of a tactical rehost.
Yeah,
you see it all the time in Pro League.
It's smart. You know, use your you're falling apart. Use this rehost now. Like, it's tactical. This is
there's no penalty for it.
Where whoever is leading the team, there's a lot of pressure on them because it's up to them to be like, listen, guys, this is getting chaotic. Like, people are dying left, right, and center. Like, callouts aren't being made, or like the strat's gone. It's up to him right now to try to motivate his team, to try to change things, and get the team to come up with something new and get something to work. It's a lot of pressure, but it's his job right now to make that happen.
Yeah, it really is, and it's really down to Rise to hunker down and figure this out. If they don't, honestly, we'll probably know the next round or two.
And then the switch over from attack to defense.
I think we have one or two. What do we have?
Yeah,
two more rounds.
Yeah, because it's like 4-0.
Hi guys.
It's 4. Yeah, so it's currently 4-0. No, I thought it was 5-0. I think that last one was 5-0. Well, let me just look here. Oh no, sorry, yeah, it is 4-0.
Yeah.
So like they have 2 more tries to bring this back to make it at least a 4-2. You can come back from a 4-2. It is difficult, but it is possible. It is much harder to come back from a 6-0.
Yeah.
And again, it has been done, and it can be done. But you want to go into that road. You want to go into that switch with something under your belt. You want to go in with the smallest bit of confidence, rather than going into the switch being like, okay, if we don't get this, we're done. You know what I mean? Like, at least you have a bit of a buffer with having 1 or 2 rounds under your belt. So, Rise has to step up their game, has to try and read what AVIATE's doing. The thing that AVIATE's doing that is actually very, very good and very, very commendable is they're not stagnant. They're not doing things where it's predictable where they're going. They're moving very sporadically, but they're moving methodically.
Yeah.
So they're getting their shots, they're getting their angles, and they know when to pick them. They either, okay, it's getting too hot and heavy, we best be getting out of dodge, or, like we see with the Echo, he has intel. He knows when to peek. He knows when not to peek.
Yeah, and they're playing super aggressive because they're rolling over them. This is the time to play aggressive. They have that kind of mental advantage where they're just like, you know, they have the confidence and they're using it. And yeah, they're peaking and they're playing like really, really aggressive.
And again, they're just hitting those shots. They're getting those proper angles, and I think Rise is just kind of getting that tunnel vision where they're like, okay, like I have to do this now because these 2 are dead, so I have to go here, and then they get shot, not knowing to watch around the corners. There's not enough drones. There's not enough intel. So Rise is on the back foot. Let's see how they come back from this.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, I don't have a favorite team. Like, there's not like a team that I'm gonna say I want to win, but I will tell you this: I don't want Rise to lose like this because I know they're better than this.
Yeah.
If like for them to get beat out this bad, it's not the Rise we know, and it'd be a shame if that's the way that they lost out of this tournament was in this manner, because we know that they're better than this. I want to see a closer
100%.
match. The match, like, we're here to see the Rise that we've been seeing time and time again, and they're capable of it. So like I want Rise to do better, not because they're my favorite, but because they can bring us a good match, and this is why we're here.
Yeah, and like you said, like they don't deserve. I don't think any team deserves to go out with a 7-0 or a 7-1 or anything like that, because all these teams have played their hearts out. They've gotten here for a reason.
Yeah.
You don't make it to the finals making silly mistakes, and unfortunately, Rise is making a few silly mistakes. So, I'm with you that I want them to fix these things. I want them to succeed. I want them to, even if they do lose 7-5, 7-4. You know what I mean? Like,
I want them,
have-
like,
they
if
have
they
that- they
lose,
have-
they can walk away being like, you know what?
we
We
tried.
had some sucked, but then, like, we turned things around. We fought, and you know what? We lost. Like, I want them to walk away with their heads up no matter what, but it's easier to do that if they can make a bit of a comeback.
Exactly. Or they can do the crazy comeback story where they come back from a
Which would be
6-0, and then they come out and win it, and they go on to fight Venom for $1,000.
That would, yeah, again,
That
then
would
that would
be-
make that match insane because
Exactly.
looking back, we're like, yeah, Rise is like getting destroyed. Here we go, right off the bat. This is good. Renegade, a kill right off the bat. This is a small victory for Rise. I hope they roll with it.
Again, they have they are up the upper or they do have the upper hand at this point, especially with the Nomad again bringing something different, bringing something that isn't what they are expecting. We do have Doctor being taken out MXT again, another very powerful frag operator onto the defense team. So just like that, it is a complete shift now. Rise is on the upper hand. We will have AVIATE kind of on the back foot trying to figure out how they're going to be doing this. We do have Jaeger pushing up the spiral stairs, trying to take a little bit of a rotate and a little bit of a flank. Of the minute 54 though, and Rise is pushing very fast. This could prove to be risky for Joe Jaxie.
Joe Jax is looking for that attacker roamer that we've seen countless times that basically they've been wandering around up there, but they're not there. They're focusing on this garage and they're getting through it, which is exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Maybe there was someone because Joe Jax is going to take down Penguin, but Doctor is going to get a kill. Trade off Penguin. Joe Jax coming back onto Doctor.
Yeah, and Rise is trying to get us, kind of a footing on what they're going to be doing, but Joe Jaxie says no. Oh my God, Donkey Punch with a nice little tight angle. Unfortunately, the angle of Jaeger was not able to see the buck on that one, so we will have it down to a 1v3. The Legion on the board, it is possible, but very difficult, especially with the kind of firepower that is still on the board. You do have a Renegade or a Nomad able to stop any rotation onto the diffuser, and we will have Renegade. Oh, he almost gets spotted out, and oh, what a night! Almost terror able to hit Riley Frags, but right now, Riley Frags does have the upper hand, and we do have Renegade still repelled upside down. Diffuser is at about, I want to say 25 seconds left. And it will be difficult for Legion to get. Unfortunately though. Nice attempt from Terror to try and eke that one out, but we did get picked off by Riley Frags and Zofia.
Yeah, here we go. A win for Rise. Like, they played that well. Like, that's exactly what they needed to do. That's the Rise that we know. Terror almost did a good job on that comeback. Like, he got a few nice kills and stuff, but so props to him. But Rise, they're on the board now.
Yeah, so again, like we said, that little break really helped them out. So we'll see if they can keep this momentum going.
Yeah, this is going to be their last round on attack. Again, pulling off a win here when the switchover happens. 4-2 is not bad to go into. Like, it's a 2-round difference is okay. So being able to pull that off is going to switch this whole game around, and even the whole feeling of this game is going to all of a sudden change. It changes from being completely rolled over to, you know what, we can't just throw this away.
Mm-hmm. But AVIATE could easily just turn around and be like, okay, like they could have just they could have gone into that round knowing like, hey, Rise is going to come at us with something completely different. Let's see what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what they're going to be coming at us with, and now they know. Now they might know how to counter it or counter certain parts of it and adapt accordingly. So we'll see how they adapt as well. But right now, it is looking good for RIZE. It does seem like they have a little bit of a second wind, and hopefully they can take advantage of this.
Yeah, and what we saw before, we saw a lot of aggression coming from these windows here on the main entry hold before. So we'll see if they kind of go for the same sort of tactic again. We have the attackers, again, approaching from the front side, which can be dangerous when the defenders are being so aggressive. But it's looking like everyone's able to make it up to the building.
And we will have Santa pushing in through console office. Just trying to take advantage of that. Again, it is a pretty common peak, or it is a pretty common angle for any sort of entry, but we do have the appropriate attackers pushing in through the windows, but we do have Joe Jaxie able to take out the Zofia, but instead of able to take out Joe Jaxie in return. So you lose a Zofia for a Jaeger, but again, I don't think that's a good trade to have. But just like that, we do lose... oh no, we don't lose anybody else. Sorry, I thought we lost 2 people.
No. So that move by Frags, a little bit, I think, too aggressive, because that slow repel in is loud and it's slow, and it just provided so much time for Joe Jax. He knew exactly what was happening. He just rounded that corner and fired into that window. It could have been used a little bit smarter, but again, top floor control is really important on taking this site. So a little bit of droning happened. The play off of that wasn't great, but please finish off that control over the top floor. And then once you have that, it'll be easier for you to move down, because we have Donkey Punch here. Boom. He's going to just drop some grenades. Maybe you'll get a nice kill. He'll at least destroy a lot of utility.
We do have the Echo very low on health. But I think the Fuse is just kind of... I don't think he's going to get any kills. I think he's just trying to move the defenders around, which is what you want to do. Right? You want to create some rotation. You want to create some movement, so therefore you can get the angles, push the defenders into your guns rather than taking your guns and bringing it to them. So we do have the Echo taking out Doctor, but we do have the Thatcher EMP mine going down. Probably going to take out that yokai, or at least bring it down a little bit. They are going to try and find it. They do finally take it out. They are planting a diffuser. Terror taking out both Doctor and Incentive very convincingly, so it is just down to a 2v3. This is still very winnable, though.
Hiding in that closet and just waiting patiently. That was a fantastic push from him. Otherwise, it would have been definitely in the hands of the attackers, but we're going to see a 3rd kill come from Terror. Is it going to be a 4th? No. Renegade's going to take down Terror, leaving only 1 attacker left, and he's going to go down to MXT. Defenders are going to take away this one, but attackers, definitely a much better push from the attackers.
They had the right ideas. They were definitely... they started off pretty strong. They actually kept going pretty strong. It was just that late round, right? They all dropped hatch. Unfortunately,
Terror hiding in that closet. I'm not gonna lie, that is sneaky.
That should have been droned out, though. That is when you're going into that site, drone out that closet, drone out the hallway or bathroom hallway or the connector hallway. And then see if you can and if your drone survives long enough, get it to a spiral stairs at the back. So therefore you can keep an eye on spiral, and you can keep an eye on yellow.
Yeah, if they're able to take out Terror, if they're able to take him out or be aware of him or something, that definitely would have went to the attackers, for sure. Them dropping behind desk and stuff, it would have been so much harder for the defenders to kind of come forward. Especially, I'm surprised they didn't open up that front door yet either, because eventually I'm sure to escape, but that would have went for the attackers. I can feel it. But no, Terror did a great job hiding. He was patient enough. He waited and then got a 3K as a result.
Yeah, and Terror also kind of doing a lot of work with that pistol, relying very heavily on it. He does switch to it very quickly rather than going for the reload, which is, again, very smart. You want to do that at this level of play. You want to make sure that you have every possible way to take out the enemy at that point. And again, we do have Incentive having a bit of trouble with this drone. And there we go. He does get his teammate to finally take it out, and he can finally throw out his cams. We will have Blackbeard, though, on the attacking team, which is good. you do want to make sure that you can hold those angles. In sense of playing a very risky game, kind of throwing that out and standing up very slowly in front of
In that window,
yeah, in that window. Like, he could have been easily picked off, but again, thankfully he was not, and he does get his cam up, but it does get taken out very quickly, and MXT able to take out Donkey Punch very quickly as well on that buck. Rocking the Rogue skin, I might add. That's a very nice skin. We will have him spot the Valkyrie. I've been not able to hit the shots incentive to be able to take out the buck, and now we're down to a 4v4.
Yeah, having trouble controlling that recoil. Buck's got a really tough recoil. But yeah, a nice pick for Valk. Also, Window being prepped for a run out. We can see there. I'm sure she's got a camera out front. Valk's probably one of my favorite operators to play on this map, and there's a lot of nice outside cameras that we did see her throw out, which is going to provide some valuable information. Attacker doesn't watch his flank, he's going to be in the wrong position, and it's going to be an easy kill like we just see there. Instinctive is going to take down Joe Jax, and then we got Doctor taking down Terror. We have another one on this west window right here. It's going to only leave 2 attackers left.
And it is just down to... it's literally just down to Blackbeard and Thermite, two very different operators. Blackbeard can definitely make their life look a lot easier for these pushes, but again, not very good at these close quarter combat situations. Especially again with that MK17, doesn't have a very good fire rate. It does hit fairly decent. So game is not over yet, but we'll see how it goes. With a minute 13 left, they can just take their time and just wait for the defenders to make some wrong moves and see if they can drop the ball a little bit. But we do have incentive taking out the Thermite over there on the yellow stairwell, and it is just down to the black point.
Yeah, that's what, 3 kills for incentive. So yeah, just the poor Blackbeard just sitting alone on that window. He has time, but that's 4 operators to take down. Incentive playing the Valk, looking like she knows where it is. She's gonna go for that run out, but it's too late. Mac is gonna be ready.
Mac is just waiting for that little bit of a run out. He is going to try and kick anybody off the wall, but with 30 seconds left, he has to make a move, and unfortunately, at the top of the roof, the defenders will know exactly where he's going from, and as we can see, Incentive able to finally take out.
It is instinctive. I've been saying instinctive, and then you like incentive, so I'm like, part of me is like, oh, I've been saying it wrong this whole time. No.
It's in something.
It's in something. Instinctive.
Instinctive, so sorry about that, but Instinctive does finish off the Blackbeard.
What, 4 kills? I don't know. Did he ace? Did Instinctive ace?
I don't think he did.
He got 3 kills.
No, because the Valkyrie opened it up because the Buck took out. Can't remember who he took out, but he took out somebody at first, and then Valkyrie took him out. So
yeah, Valkyrie is instinctive. Valkyrie, Valkyrie was instinctive.
No, Instinctive was Bandit. I thought.
No, Instinctive was the Valkyrie.
But the last kill was Bandit.
Was it?
Yeah, it
was.
Oh,
okay.
We're watching the same game, right?
I
hope so.
I need to watch this. I'm gonna have to watch this back and figure out what happened there.
We will figure this out. The mystery shall be solved by the end of the night, hopefully. Possibly, maybe not. Who knows? Yeah. But we will be going down to the basement. That mystery is not apparent. So we will also see Amira come out, which is also nice to see. So therefore, we will probably have her back by the security room. Just trying to make a little bit of rotationals, and she will be in charge of taking care of the yellow stairs, and as well as any push through the, the near side of the garage. She can actually kind of hold off a good chunk of that, and it'll just be down to her teammates to see if they can hold off the rest of the garage at this point.
Interesting mirror placement. I'm not sure if someone just fortified the wrong side of that. Typically, you would see that fortification there, but obviously from the kitchen side allowing you to place the mirror there, but instead, the mirror's going to be placed on a soft wall instead, so interesting. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but we see Terra droning up this back area here, possibly looking for a solo push down behind everyone. There's not going to be a defender roaming in sight, so after Terra sees that it's clear, looks like he's going to go for the push. if the defenders aren't ready for that, that's going to be a pretty, like, if he gets any sort of kill, there's going to be a lot of repercussions. We do have Instinctive, though, at the bottom of those stairs, so if he's not careful on that push, he will be taken out by Instinctive.
And again, we do have them droning out their comrades. So, unfortunately, what we didn't see from RIZE is what we're seeing from AVIATE. So, hopefully, this can pay off in the long run for AVIATE. And that's what they get us. But we do have Doc picking up a bit of damage to the forward, but nothing too serious. He does just miss the shots onto the sledge. So right now he is in a little bit of a risky situation getting into the fight there. But we do have Terror just kind of doing a little bit of, not, I would say roam clear, but he is definitely trying to lurk around and try and get, but Doctor does finally take out Joe Jaxie. Thatcher is off the board, and we will have, he will be taken out, but Renegade just there with a refrag on the Terror, so it is down to a 4-3.
Yeah, coming down to already pushing up to a minute, but they do have that garage open, and they have the vertical control as we see MXT taking down another operator. Again, to defend that site, you don't want to give up that top floor control right away, which they did. Riley Fragg's going to get a nice kill for himself, though, as he comes up on that rotation.
This is going to leave shotgun, too. So, but
down to 45 seconds. There's still time, and this still doable with the sledge up above, possibly getting another pick. The plant is going to go down. Riley Fraggs is going to be able to come around just as he leaves that plant instead. Is he going to cancel an easy kill onto him as he comes around the corner, just sends a couple shots into the sledge as the time slowly runs out.
And this is actually a pretty good spot for the attackers. They can actually get this plant down. We do have both the sledge and the thermite trying to put a little bit of pressure, but we do have Mira finally take out MMXT, but the plant does go down. It is just down to Happy Penguin, but he's not able to get him down. And just like that, though, RIZE able to eke out another victory. So it does look like AVIATE is having a bit of trouble on the attacking side, and will bring us to a 5-3 in favor of AVIATE still, though. So it still can be won. But it does look like RIZE has gotten their second win, and it will be a pretty close game after all. Or on the verge of being a close game.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely, again, it's happy to see RIZE coming back into their play style a little bit. And it's too bad that they're already so far down, but we can already see it's only a 2-match gap. So they're still in this. And it's going to, again, it's not a rollover anymore. After that break, this is the match that we came to see.
Yeah, so like you said, you wanted RIZE to kind of fight their way back in. Does seem like what they're doing, and we will see a Clash come back onto the board. Clash, last few times we've seen her was not super effective, but with how RIZE has been playing, it could be the one thing that they need to get that extra victory and to get them that extra morale boost to keep pushing them forward. So we'll see how she's implemented, though. I guess again, she is a pretty basic operator, and her utility is fairly stagnant. Like, it is something like, they have a Clash. You know what she's going to be doing. Like, she's going to be around objective. She is going to be stopping those pushes, and she will make your life a little bit difficult. So she will be kind of targeted first, especially if you have, as well as we see, the Capitao and the Buck and a Sledge. So we have a lot of frag grenades, and we also have a Twitch and a Thatcher. So we have a lot of utility to take out a Clash here. Pretty much almost everybody there is able to take out a Clash single-handedly. So it will be very difficult for the Clash to do her job. So we'll see how she does doing so moving forward into this round.
They are going to be fortifying up that closet hole right there. Another alternative that a lot of teams have done, bringing like a pulse or something, knowing that that front door plant can usually happen. If you open up that hatch, you're actually able to throw a C4 into most places in that room as another option. But instead, we're going to see Donkey using this, and it's a pretty strategic spot because there's nowhere, he can't be killed from behind, underneath. Like, he's pretty safe there.
Yeah, he is pretty safe right there. So we will see, Penguin push in through admin office, it is a pretty standard push from here. You want to take control of this top floor as soon as possible. We do have Max Canada trying to slowly dwindle down this Legion. This Legion is on a like 1 bar of health. A stray bullet will take him out, but he is going to go back, try and save his goo mines, and he's probably just going to play the support role at this point and try and get those goo mines as far into sight as possible without exposing himself.
Yeah, we had some good drones upstairs, which is what spotted him out, as the Buck was able to just pre-fire him through a closed window, just not doing enough damage, just by probably like 1 or 2 hit points. But we are, again, going to be seeing him called out, and there's the kill. That's going to take down Doctor. A nice kill coming from Terror, making use of, again, good droning and good spotting.
Yeah, and we do see, again, most of the team is up top. Again, very different from AVIATE's game plan from last time, which was push from the main door. So they do seem to be switching up the strategy a little bit, where they know that, hey, we are going to need to take control of top floor, and we're going to have to take control of it concisely. So that is exactly what they're doing. And we did notice there the Sledge grenading out closet, making sure nobody's in there. Very smart move by him. Joe Jaxion with another frag onto Donkey Punch, and it does look like AVIATE has kind of returned to form and is able to put a lot of pressure back onto RIZE.
Yeah, this is the proper way to take control of this. They got control of top floor. It's important. On the reverse side, AVIATE kind of denied them top floor control. We're going to be seeing the Buck just dropping in as we see Riley just taking them out pretty easily. That's the Fuser is going down, and there's only 1 defender left.
Yeah, it is an Echo. Well, there's 2 defenders.
Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, 2 defenders.
He's got very low health, and he can get taken out very easily, which he actually might get taken out.
Now there's 1 defender left.
Now there's 1 defender left. We do have... But we do have Terror. Wait. I wouldn't say that's Castle's fault. I would definitely say it was a poor choice of rotation. But kind of giving away his position at that point. Sledge right there for the kill. And as we see, bringing it back to a 6-4.
Mm-hmm. So the difference in those attacks, because both teams kind of took the same approach to attacking that bomb site, but the difference also being that Rise Up kind of they vacated the premises. They gave it up a little bit easier. They only had 1 defender up there, and he nearly got killed right off the bat. So they gave up top floor control, which gave Sledge and Buck just that vertical advantage. But on top of that, they had the front door open, which applied different pressure and different angles, again, making it harder for the defenders to rotate. Yeah. Rise Up didn't open up that front door. It gave the defenders a little bit more time to rotate and move around, and that's even though the attackers had top floor control. AVIATE was just able to control the bottom, and they just wasn't enough to win the attack.
Mm-hmm. So a very decisive round for AVIATE. We'll see if they can ride that momentum, and hopefully this doesn't mean that Rise is kind of returning to form in the sense of getting run over. Like I don't think they didn't get run over that round. But
it wasn't a run over round. They just lost too much of that top floor control, and after that, it's like you can't really come back from it. It's really hard. The only way to come back from that would be to have a roamer or 2 try to retake that top floor, and it didn't happen. Instead, they just got picked off a little bit easier from the floor being opened up, and it's just really hard to manage your defense when the roof is getting ripped off above you.
Yeah, and again, it was good. It was good utilization of the utility.
Yeah.
So right now we're going back up top. Blackbeard making his appearance again for the 2nd time. And we will see, again, nothing too interesting coming from any of these defensive operators. We will hopefully see Terror go for a little bit of a frag, but I don't know if it went off or if an ADS hit it, but nothing happened. Oh, we do have Blackbeard taking out the dock. That is a very important hit. Taken out. We do have the Blackbeard as well, looking for any yokais, but we also have Riley Frags taking out Terror. So that is your Sledge off the board, but you lost the dock for a Sledge. In my opinion, that's a good trade.
Yeah, Mac just missing a few shots. Right there, we still have a full 2 minutes left. There goes the yokai drone. We are going to have Joe Jax taken down instinctive on that run out. That's going to stop what was happening on this attack a lot earlier, as many of these run outs. So Joe Jax was ready for that this time. Taking him out. He is going to be able to spot one of the yokai drones. I'm not sure if he got it, as we see Donkey nearly taking him out from his position.
Yeah, he did manage to take it out. If you looked at when
Oh, right.
Echo went onto his yokai, he only had one left. Oh, what a...
Plant going off. Even...
almost a team kill.
Max just tearing it apart after he jumps in there.
Yeah,
He's going to get
downed.
So now it's up for the rest of the attackers, though. They can't leave that bomb on its own. But it looks like the defenders are aware that the other attackers might be pushing up from behind, but... Oh no, the bomb didn't go off. They killed him right before it went off.
Yeah, he
I missed
got
that.
down just before the plant.
Yeah.
It is a pretty close battle, though. We do have a full health Thatcher versus a core health Echo. Echo is going to miss this rotate. Is going to try and pre-fire it. Echo does have the chance. There's 30 seconds. He either has to go for the defuse or he has to go for the frag. I believe he's probably going to go for the defuse. Don't think Echo has any more yokais.
He is being spotted. It's either the yokai drone or it's a Valk cam that's being used right now.
Might be a yokai.
It's got to be a Valk, otherwise he would have...
Plant does manage to go down. Oh, and now Echo has to try and retake this with about 10 health. Oh, this is going to be a difficult one. Donkey Punch. A lot of pressure on him. He is going to try and peek this hole, see if he's on the rappel. I don't think he knows where he is. I think he believes he's on the outside. He's going to pre-fire. Doesn't manage to hit anybody because of the silenced, the MP5 SD doesn't really have good penetration damage, especially at the end of that desk there. And he does get picked off. Very smart play by Happy Penguin, and that does bring us to a 7-3 win for AVIATE. AVIATE is going on to the finals to face Venom to get $1,000 to split between their team, and that will be one hell of a game.
And right now,
Congratulations to AVIATE.
absolutely, right now they're guaranteed at least $200, and they get a post in the Amateur Gamers Premium League. So this is fantastic. They're going to move on ahead. And yeah, these were some of the best teams. And next time, we're going to be seeing them face Venom. We appreciate all you guys for watching and hanging with us during a few technical difficulties. But don't forget to smash that follow button. Subscribe if you can. Use that Twitch subscription because you do not want to miss this next match.
Yes, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.
We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody.
We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party, flyer than everybody. We show up in the party.
We show up in the party. We show up in the party.